Hello and welcome to solo playthroughs. I've been looking forward to this for far too long, and wow, I put this game back on the table for the first time since the last time I recorded a Zeds video, and it's been crushing me for 2 days now. I'm not taking it personally, I don't think. I don't know, man. This game, I adore this game. But I definitely, there's a part of me that's like, level 3 was awesome. Let's go to level 4. And now I'm like, I don't know, maybe I like level 3 a little bit better. But I mean, look, I still love level 4. Lots of cool things that are added, but it is a lot. And this game, I mean, it's just a long game. I mean, 27 rounds is a long game. And like, look, every round might be shorter than Spirit Island. Every round might be shorter than a round of Mage Knight. But there's only 6 rounds in Mage Knight. The average game of Spirit Island only has like 8 or 12 rounds, right? This has 27 rounds. I mean, even if you want to take off the National Guard or Rives card, and that's not a true round, right? So 26 rounds. Okay, it's a lot. And that's only on the standard solo game for level 4, right? And if you start going into the different cuts that they have in the rulebook, you're going to be going up to 30, 33, 36. It's just a really long game, and that, like, mental fatigue is a thing. And I still love this game so much, but when you're throwing in all these new cards for level 4 now and a 5th track, I mean, there's just so much going on, so much to track, so much more to potentially anticipate. And again, it just kind of leans more into, look, go in looking for a really fun, wacky, zany story, and you'll come out fine. Sometimes, though, it's just like, man, I just never had a chance. I mean, I had one game where it was like, I got a disease spreader out, maybe pulled a fake card. This is the first round. Disease spreader, fake card, add a Zeds to every new track. And it was just like, what? Just got punished. I mean, I had no chance after that, right? So that's something, like, when I play a game, I don't mind losing. I hate playing games where I'm like, I'm just done from the first round. And that's where, like, Crusoe really started to tail off for me, where I realized how often that happened. Level 4 for me is getting to the realm where that starts to happen with Zeds in a way I really don't love. But we'll see. It could just be I have to get more acclimated to new strategies, and I have to get more acclimated to the new characters, so forth and so on. So there's an idea here where it's like, yeah, I'm still kind of figuring it out, and it's fine. But if someone was like, I only play at level 3 and I love it there, I'd be like, yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. Kind of makes sense to me. So look, and again, there's not, as far as the mechanisms, there at level 1, 2, and 3 added a lot more mechanisms. Level 4 doesn't add a lot more mechanisms per se, except for when it comes to the rules with the Catacombs. And now you have these new super security forces, which are a special kind of civilians unit, right? But gone is the old board that had this track on it. If someone's looking at their box saying, where's mine with that little cool cutout? Yeah, I just did that with a pair of scissors to try to make everything fit. Here was the Zeds action for a competitive game. I assure you, I've never played this game competitively, so I felt fine taking a little, doing a little bit of cosmetic adjustment. So I have a little gap here, so we make sure we see the highway track start space. Here we have our action track, our supplies track, our ammo track, and our infection track, right? We have all the different levels. I'm not sure what I want to set up first. How about we do the event deck? Now, let's shuffle the fake cards. Fake cards are bananas. What is cool about this game is just the insane amount of content that's there. And then if you're really going for that narrative, every game is very different. I mean, we're up to 21 heroes now. Again, we're only playing with 4 at the start of every game. You got 10 heroic civilians now. You're only playing with 1 at the start of every game. You got all these new event cards. You get all these fake cards. It's just nuts how much variety is here. The research deck doesn't have any more added to it, but the early research cards still way more than you'll ever use in 5, 10, 15, 20 games, right? I mean, I'm still seeing cards. I'm like, oh, I haven't seen that one before. Interesting. That's good. It's really good. Again, it does add to the mental fatigue, though, when you're like trying to kind of get through 27 rounds, right? This is definitely one of those games. If you could just have a dedicated table, leave it on the table, and you kind of play a few rounds every day, that makes a lot of sense to me. I could definitely see this being a really good way to experience Dawn of the Zeds. All right, so fake cards are shuffled. Now we have to set our event deck. Event deck, again, will end up with 27 cards. The balancing is very close to level 3, except for instead of having only 2 special events in level 2, you're now going to have 3, and instead of having 7 regular events in level 2, you're now going to have 6. So again, it kept the same number of cards, but it just, added 50% to your number of special events, which is brutal. It's just like, so much for easing into this game anymore. Look, you get 3 special events. Chances are you're going to get 2 in a row at some point. I mean, things can get really, really, really wonky. All right, so we have our final event there. I'm not going to use a dice to randomize, or use a die, I should say, to randomize. I always get tripped up with dice, die. I don't know. One of them. I'm not going to use any of those sided contraptions with numbers to randomize here. Is just too many cards. So, it is what it is. It's random. So we're going to shuffle this. I'm going to take 3 of the... Oh, these are the level 1 events. I don't want those yet. I picked the wrong pile. All right, this is the one. I don't know why that's my voice of choice for tonight, but we're going to go with it for a while and see what happens as this thing starts to unfold. So just get used to it, I guess. So we're gonna do the level 4 events. We're going to take 3 of those. Bam. I need 2 of the level 4 special events. Again, we have 3 to choose from. So just taking 1 out. Bam. These 5 cards get shuffled. This will be the bottom 6 cards of our deck, along with the ending event that I've already put in front of me. So there you go, 6 cards. We're going to take the level 3 events, or chapter 3. Keep saying levels. Chapter 3. So chapter 3 of this amazing zombie movie that we're watching. We're going to take 6 of these cards. We're going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those rest can go aside. That ridiculous stack of cards that we don't need for this game. We're going to now take 2 of these special events. Bam. So we're going to have 8 cards in my hand total now. That's seems to be 7. No, there's 1. It's like, come on. I know I put 8 there. Where did it go? We're going to shuffle these. Now, what am I going to do? I'm going to take 3 off the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Put them there. That's 9 cards there. National Guard card. 5 cards on top of that. We're now going to take the chapter 2 cards. We're going to get 6 of these suckers. Hopefully we get the National Guard because they're super amazing. Honestly, I wouldn't even mind the Raiders. I mean, something to help deal with the track and start picking off some Zeds, from the start space in is a huge help when that happens. All right, so we're going to do this. We're taking 6 of these cards instead of the 7. Again, you would take 7 in level 3. We're not playing level 3 anymore. Toto, we are not in Kansas anymore. We are in level 4, the Walking Zeds. Oh, I didn't even say the name of the chapter yet, did I? Yes, chapter 4, level 4. This is chapter 2. I'm getting the card to chapter 2. We are level 4, the Walking Zeds, which seems like a downgrade to me. I mean, we went from like Outbreak to Apocalypse to Brains to Walking Zeds. I don't know, whatever. I mean, it just seems not as... not the sequel movie name I was hoping for here, but it's fine. It's fine. What do we know? What do I know? We're going to take these. We have these 9 cards. We're putting these on top. So we have all the chapter 2 cards. Bam. And then I already shuffled these a little bit. Then we're going to take 3 of the chapter 1 cards. Now I'm going to make sure there's 27 cards here. Make sure a couple cards didn't get stuck together. Other assorted shenanigans. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugh. Had a little trouble, but it's 27, counting with Craig, with a twist at the end. All right, this is going to go down. This goes here. We are now going to... So I have all my EKG tokens. I'm just going to leave them in the hospital office spaces. They just seems like a good home for them because, why have them on the side when really we only need them for the hospital? We are now going to randomly choose our diamond security team. We are going to roll a die. So we're replacing the first one in the town center basement. I rolled a 6, that's there, and then this guy goes in the security post office. Awesome. We're going to roll a D8 to set up our... Oh, no, let me get these cards off the table first. So we have to set up the research deck. Again, the research deck has 7 late research cards at the bottom, but 5 of them are predetermined. We know it's going to be the 4 super weapon cards and the antidote breakthrough. heroes, which I've still never managed to find twice and pull off that shenanigans. But I digress. We're going to take the other late research cards, the ones that don't have that exclamation point up in the top left, and we are going to take 2 of them. Did I say antidote? I meant antidote. Antidote breakthrough. It's a much different thing than antidote breakthrough, I think. We're going to take these 7 cards. We're going to shuffle these up. Now, this is the bottom of our research deck. How much researching am I going to do? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. If we have Professor G, maybe quite a bit. I don't love the research path with a lot of the other characters. I just find it to be a really solid way to lose a bunch of actions, because you really need to be researching at least 5 times before you even get to any benefits of a super weapon, and sometimes you get super unlucky and you can research 7, 8, 9 times, and it all of a sudden starts adding up. It takes supplies from you, and it obviously eats up a lot of your actions. That is the late research deck. We will go there. We now have early research cards. I need 4 of them. Now, there are a couple of really nice early research cards, and if we end up on a nice benefit, heck, we might just stick with that and call it a day, right? So we're going to shuffle these early research cards, taking 4 off the top, and now all of our decks are set. And there's like a ton of these. This is what, 4? I have 9 of them, so it's 13 of these total. Yeah, a lot of variety in this game in a way that's super cool. Cool. We are going to now start setting up our civilians, right? So I have 1 through 7. I rolled a 3. This is going to go on 3rd Street in the suburbs track. That's a 2 strength civilians unit. I'm rolling a d6 now because there's only 6 left. I rolled a 5. We have a 3 strength civilians here. I'm going to set something up on the forest track. I rolled a 6. We only have 5 left, so I rolled a 1. We have a 2 strength civilians there. No, it's a 3 strength civilians there. Look at me. I rolled a 2. Come on, let me get the 4 strengthers on the board. No, it's going to be so bad. How is this every time? Oh, there we go. All right, good. I was going to be very sad for a second. It makes a difference, people. It makes a difference. Cool, so that's done. What else do I need? Well, I need myself some heroic civilians. So I'm going to roll this d10. I rolled a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I get myself the FD 129 auxiliaries. I believe that is the fire department. It is the fire department. Cool. I will go through abilities in a second. These suckers are going to start there. And we only need to see the tops of the cards because you can't read that crap anyway. So we have an extra little action token. I'll put that there and kind of I realized last time I was having these action tokens kind of fall off. Now by having them there, I can make sure that people are seeing what action tokens are available to me every round. Great. Now I need 4 heroes, the moment of truth. So I have 21. I only have a d20. So I tried to put a 21st side on this. Didn't work. So here we are. I'm going to roll this. I rolled a 4. That means I'm pulling from the second row. Who are the heroes of the hour? Well, from top left down to bottom right, we have Alan Jones, Colonel Kingman, Doc Seaver, Otto Hauser, Wilson the Hermit, May Hauser, Special Agent Wright, Captain Piazza, Rusty Staub, Deputy Schmidt, Professor G, Bouncing Betty, Horatius, Mr. Johnson, El Toro Loco, Sheriff Hunt, General Lee, Alyssa Darling, Mayor Hernandez, Big Wheels Carter, and Pickles. Of course, Pickles comes last, but certainly not last in our hearts. Great. So I'm pulling from the middle row. So I'm rolling a d8. Who do we get from the middle row? I rolled 3. 1, 2, 3. Deputy Schmidt, come on down. You're the first contestant on Walking Zeds. Ding, ding, ding. He has his initiative token, and I can't reach. It's too far. Okay. Hey, General Lee, wait your turn. You stay over there. You big horse of a horse. This goes here. We have Deputy Schmidt in Town Center. Who's our next contestant on Walking Zeds? Well, we can now roll the famed D20. We got a 19. So we got Big Wheels Carter. That makes me happy on several levels. So Big Wheels Carter comes in. This did come from one of the mini expansions. Now I can choose what start space he starts on. Very cool. Before I do that, I should put the regular Zeds on the board that start the game. So we're going to have a level 3 Zeds in the suburbs track. We're going to have a level something Zeds, 6 Zeds in the forest track. Hope we don't keep doubling. We have a level 6 Zeds in the mountain track, and in the highway track we have a level 5 Jag. Oh, there's one more! The tunnel track! We have a level 5 Zeds there as well. Now, Carter can only go on above ground tracks. The tunnel track, guess what? It's a tunnel, so I can't put that sucker there. I will put Carter here, and that will be fine. And he has his little loaded token on him for good measure. All right, we are gonna, well, I'll leave that over there. We are going to roll the d20 again. We have 19 left to choose from. I rolled a 10. Man, my eyesight, look at lighting, so much better for my videos, not so much better for me. So 10 is 7 plus 3. Professor G, she just cannot get enough of the camera, folks. She is just a sucker for it, and she's back, better than ever. All right, G is back. All right, we have the Mother Invention token. She's gonna start in the town center as well. And then finally, we got one more, kids. We got 18 left to choose from. I rolled a 2. Colonel Kingman, man. There's a lot of repeat performances. They're just like, I guess, yeah, you go with what worked for you last time. And trust me, I'll be using that same Kingman down the highway track strategy because I am a sucker for it. Can I reach him is the question. Got him. I think I strained my back in the process, but we're here. So we are good. Let's talk about some abilities then. So Colonel Kingman has a couple of tokens on him. He has his landmine, which he can build at some point, and he also has his strong point. He has a defensive perimeter ability. If a Zeds unit or a Zeds mob moves into a space or on or adjacent to Colonel Kingman, you will roll a die. If you roll a 5 or a 6, that move is thwarted and it returns to the space from whence it came. Go away, you. Hunker down whenever defending, +1 shift. That is not a terrain shift. It's just a shift on the hand-to-hand combat. Strong point once per game as an action. You can spend 3 supplies, build a strong point in a space he occupies. The nice thing about the strong point, well, it's a 3 terrain shift as opposed to the normal barricade, which is a 2. And in addition to that, it cannot be destroyed. It doesn't get destroyed by leapers. It doesn't get destroyed by any Zed leaving the space. Beautiful. Minefield once per game as an action. You can spend 2 supplies and 1 ammo to build that minefield I was talking about. The first time a Zed unit will enter that space before hand-to-hand combat would commence, that Zeds would actually suffer a level 7 gunfire attack, and then this would flip, and then the next time a Zeds enters the space, it'll be a level 4 gunfire attack. It's pretty sick. So that's that. Professor G. Science means she could do some research for us. But not only could she do some research for us, she has a bioengineering PhD, people. So she receives +1 to her research die rolls, and she can also attain a 4th super weapon component. I assure you we will unlikely get more than 2, if that. So she can be moved into the hospital staff office or the laboratory space. She has the Mother of Invention. So once around, we could flip that. We have to increase the infection level by 3, which is not great, but it's something you might want to do, and that gives you 1 additional event action. So that is something we have the option to do. Usually I do that out of frustration when I try to research with a G and I keep failing, and I'm like, you know what? 3 infection, and then I fail again, and it's really sad. Epidemiology speciality, or subspeciality, I'm sorry. She's even more subspecialized than I realized. While the G is in the hospital staff office, every heal action there causes -2 in infection as opposed to the usual -1, and then decontamination once the super weapon is discovered. When she restores order, it causes -2 instead of +1 when it comes to infection. Again, restoring order during the housekeeping phase usually makes this go up. However, if you have the super weapon, you restore order. Well, instead of going up, it actually goes down too. Super cool. Big Wheels Carter. Man, what a superstar this dude is. King of the road. Carter and his truck are one. He cannot voluntarily enter the tunnel track, cannot conduct gunfire attacks, and cannot increase the infection during hand-to-hand combat. Not that he wants to do that anyway, just basically, I guess when the Zeds are taking on a truck, they might do some damage, but we're not actually increasing any infection from their Zedsness. Nor can Big Wheels Carter make arrests. Again, arrests are a competitive thing. We're not doing that anyway. Cargo hauler. Carter enters play on any above ground start space, which again I did. I had him start in the mountain track. Now he's chilling there with the Zed unit, totally chill. Again, all the start spaces are supposed to represent like a very large area in which that you can have multiple units kind of chilling there. Doesn't trigger attacks, blah, 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 blah. All right, so he starts there. Now the cargo marker shows the loaded side. I'm just going to keep that on Big Wheels Carter instead of putting it there because we're going to probably have some wounds there and blah, blah, blah. When Carter reaches town center, his move action ends. You flip this cargo marker to the empty side. You immediately gain 5 supplies and 3 ammo. And you sing songs of rejoicing and gladness. His truck can be reloaded at any start space by spending 1 action to do so. So if things are working well with Carter, you can move back and forth. And you can maybe do that refill thing 3-4 times over the course of a game. Makes a huge difference. Zeds plow. To attempt to move through a Zed's occupied space. Upon entering it, you roll a die. If you're like me, you will always roll a 1, 2, or 3. However, if you're like normal people, 50% of the time, I've checked the math, 50% of the time, you will roll a 4, 5, or 6 to inflict 1 hit on each Zed's unit in that space, and Carter can continue. Otherwise, you stop, conduct hand-to-hand combat with no infection increase. And it's kind of sick. If you have a unit here, Carter can be like, 1, oh, I plowed through you. And then he can decide to turn around and go, oh, through you again. And if you keep, not being me and rolling well, then you would keep doing it 1 damage every time. And then if you, again, but you have to have the points to actually move through. You can't do the plow. So if I have say I'm here and I've used 4 points of movement, I have 1 point of movement left, I can't be like, I'm going to plow again. No, it's like I can move back and do a normal hand-to-hand combat, but I have to stop my plowing. It's a thing. So that is that. Otherwise, repairs. Carter never suffers hits. His truck does. However, after receiving 6 hits, he gets a saving roll. If successful, the truck enters the hospital, because why the hell not? You spend 1 heal action, where you get at that point, you would get an infection decrease. That's the only time you would get an infection decrease, if you're actually spending an action to heal the truck, and then the truck would be discharged with a 2 wound marker on it. And then from there, you can spend actions or supplies to remove hit points once per turn, like a normal heal action. But instead, because you're healing a truck, you're actually not reducing the infection levels. So ideally, you have a lot of supplies, and that's where the loaded comes in, where you'll have the supplies and hopefully have enough that you can spend 2 or 3 to make sure Carter is healed up. Deputy Schmidt, once per action, he receives a character action to spend on his unit. I don't know what a unit is. His unit only. Place the initiative marker on this card to keep track, blah, blah, blah. And then he has Eagle Scout +1 in a shift during all hand-to-hand combat. Tough. Every time he receives a hit, you roll a die. 1, 2, or 3, you suffer that hit normally. If 4, 5, or 6, the hit is canceled. Martial arts, in every hand-to-hand combat, you're allowed 1 reroll, but that's it. You roll again and it's worse. Tough luck. You're done. FD 129 auxiliaries. They have an attack of a 3 on their healthy side, attack of a 2 on their non-healthy side. Their abilities are fire hoses. As an action, you can roll 2 dice to attempt to push back 1 Zed unit from an adjacent space. If that Zed unit's strength is less than or equal to the strength of those 2 dice, it is forced to retreat 1 space. Now, you can't move an entire mob back this way, but you can be, if there's like an 8 and a 3, I can roll 2 dice, I roll a 9, the 8 goes backwards, right? So it's super cool. Fire Axe trained, you get +1 terrain, 1 shift, it's not terrain again, +1 shift in all hand-to-hand combat. Again, that distinction is important because there are a lot of event cards that say, well, you don't have any terrain shift, but other shifts would still apply. Now, what's this civic authority crap? Well, once I say crap, it's what's this token that I'm never going to use this game? That's fine. So once per action phase, I can spend its civic authority action marker when it is on or adjacent to a village space to release 1 unit in that village. It can either remove the defiant marker from the regular civilians unit in that space or flip a villager's unit to its refugee side. It remains in place but can start moving in the usual way. Now, I mean, look, it can be helpful. I mean, maybe I'll use it once or twice, but it usually doesn't do all that much in my experience. Now, remember, we still also have the barricades. We could build a barricade spending 2 supplies, blah, 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 blah. Speaking of supplies, what are our starting supplies, kids? Well, let's find out. I rolled a garbage 4. So we get 4 supplies, because 1 and 3, and then we take the lower of the 2 dice, we subtract that from 6, and we get 5 ammo. We need Carter. Carter, save us. We need some more supplies. Okay, I'm coming, kids. All right, I think that's it. Let's move on. We are starting this game, level 4. Who's excited? I'm excited. 1 card out of 27. Bam! Fortune favors the prepared. Yeah, that's right, it does. And I'm feeling prepared today, kids. We have the 4R phase. Well, raiders, rangers, refugees, and rescuers We infection phase. Nothing happens. Don't even need to roll. We're at a 0. Eat 1. Well, one of our 4 supplies is gone. We're down to 3. And now we go to the Zeds phase. The Zeds are activating on the highway track. Bam! They're activating on the mountain track because it's any other track. I want to choose the mountain track so I can start moving Carter and maybe get a little damage on that sucker as I start going through. We go to the event phase. Well, we have 1 event action, thanks to that little one right there at the beginning of this phase. Do a Zeds, again, the pressure events or the movement events, we're not going to do that, so I'm just going to ignore them. But yeah, so there's those 2 events that in a cooperative game you would have to do. And then each hero and a heroic civilians unit in the namespace may conduct 1 free forage action. Well, how nice is that? Cool. So we have a unit in, all of our heroes and all of our heroes have a Carter who's chilling over here in the mountain track, and our auxiliaries are just chilling in town center. So I can basically do 4 forage actions. That's the only thing this applies to. It has to be a heroic civilian, so all the regular civilians don't apply. So we're doing forage actions in town center. It doesn't matter who I'm doing first. I'm going to do them all in quick succession. No one here has any augmentation to their forage rolls, so again, it doesn't really matter. So I rolled my first time. I rolled a 5. I'm in town center, so I can take a supply. I need those suckers anyway. This is my second roll. I rolled a 2. It's my third roll. I rolled a 2. And my fourth roll, I rolled a 1. Beautiful, kids. Beautiful. We get 1 event action, as I already said, and now let's go and see what we can do. So I'm going to spend this player action token. Remember, it's a solo game, so I'm going to get 1 of these. If I was playing co-op, we'd have 2, but then we'd have to deal with the pressure events, and that could be a very, very, very long game. Carter's going to go. Let's see how this goes. So I'm going to try to plow people, and I just rolled so stellarly when I was trying to get high numbers with those forages, so clearly I'm due for a high number. So I've used 1 point of movement. I have 4 left. I'm going to try to plow through this sucker, and I rolled a 6. All right, 1 damage to this guy. Carter can keep moving through using the rest of his movement points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Carter is getting toward town center to drop off some very needed supplies. The Deputy Schmidt, what's he going to do? I'm going to use his initiative token there, and we're going to move him toward... Which way do I want to move you, Deputy Schmidt? Schmitty Schmidt. Deputy Schmidt is going to go down the suburbs track. That kind of always falls to crap for me. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to do... I'm not going to use Mother... I might use Mother Intervention. Maybe. I don't know. I do want to move Kingman. So we're going to use this last action to get Kingman down toward the highway track, which is again what I love to do with him. He's got 4 movement, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And Mother of Invention, sure. Well, why not? Let's get out in front of this thing a little bit. We'll move her into the laboratory so we can start doing research next turn. End of the round, we do the housekeeping phase. I'm going to reset all of my actions. Now that's the end of the turn, so this gets discarded. I'm going to make a pile down here. We go to the second event card. What do we have? Bam! Supply room discovered. Ooh-wee! We are going to do the phases in order. However, we have 4R, Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. Nothing happening. Infection level, don't have to worry about it. Eat. We have no units in the refugee camp, no units in the hospital. Don't need to worry about that. Zeds are activating on the highway track because they are just moving fast up there. Before I could even get the colonel up there, which makes me a little sad. So that's going to be hand-to-hand combat. This defiant marker is going to come away. We're now going to have the infection level go up because again, hand-to-hand combat with some zombies. That always happens. You're going to do a Zeds times 2 because there's a 5 to a 2 from a strength perspective. And then we're going to make that Zeds advantage because, just Zeds advantage because of that terrain shift. Come on, baby. Give me an 8 or better, please. Oh, I rolled a 7. I was so close. All right, so what happens? We get 1 damage on the Zeds, 2 damage on our civilians. The Defiant villagers are now going to become fleeing trespassers. Oh, wait, what did I just say? The Defiant villagers are going to now become fleeing refugees, and we are going to add a chaos marker to that village, which is Ingeberg. Now, chaos markers. There were 10 in level 3. We do have 12 on level 4. It's not enough. You're going to want more. Trust me. So we'll see how long those last us. Right? Now we are going to activate 1 more track. Activating the mountain track. So this guy comes in. its infection level goes up again. It's going to be a similar play out, except the mat's even worse this time. It's a Zeds times 3, becomes a Zeds times 2. How are we going to do this? Come on, heroically roll. That's the roll I needed last time. I rolled a 9, so the same result. That 9 here would have been a lot better. So this is now 2 damage on this guy because it was already at 1 thanks to this dude plowing him over. 2 damage to the villagers or the civilians. They're going to retreat. We have another chaos marker and we have another trespassers. So now we go to the supply room discovered. At the end of this phase, there will be +4 supplies of a player units in the mall district. Place the goodies marker in the space as a reminder. So I'll put the goodies marker in the mall district and we have 2 event actions. I'm going to use my first player action. We want to get those goodies. They can go there. Yowza. I'm going to... I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. So I'm trying to... I would have wished I got Kingman there a wee bit earlier for sure. But I think we'll be okay. I just want to try to blow that guy up and get rid of him real quick. So I'm going to spend 1 event action to move Kingman in here. Man, actually, no, I don't want to do that. Maybe I'll leave Kingman back there for a second, and maybe his defensive perimeter will trigger. I mean, I don't want him chilling on the nuclear power plant too long. That could get bad. That could definitely get bad. So what are we going to do? We're going to do the event action. Let's get Big Wheels Carter in. Bam. This loaded now becomes empty. We get 5 more resources. I go from 4 to 9. We get 3 more ammo. I go 5 to 8. That makes me happy. We have this initiative thing. We're going to move Deputy Schmidt 1, 2 down toward East Eric, which is cool for him. We're going to do a research action with Professor G. I think that's how I want to play this out. Yeah, that makes sense. So we need a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. The Professor G, we get +1 to all our rolls. So we effectively need a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And I rolled a 2. This is why I don't research with anybody else but a G for the most part, because whoosh, that +1 adds up a lot. Pamphlets distributed, heal up to 2 civilians by 1 hit each with normal, decreases 2 infection level. Oh, I love that. So now this guy becomes a 2 again. This goes down. He does have a damage on him. And then we'll heal this one. This goes down. He has a damage on him. That is very nice. I like it. So that was a good round. Do I want to use Mother of Invention? Probably not. Don't see much upside there. So let's call it. We are going to turn that over. We're doing some housekeeping. That stays empty until we get Wheels Carter back to a start space. And we just discard this. Now getting the third of it. Oh, and then this comes off. And we get 4 more supplies. So we're now up. We go from 9 up to 13. That's a big swing from where we started this game at only 4, right? So, and then we were down to 3, right? Yeah, it's pretty gross. It's 3, 4, +5, +4. Yeah, nice. Big Wheels Carter, man, is he's everything. I love him. Stock barn discovered. We can get more supplies. That just seems gross. Man, if I had the Bob Bowers crew in here and I could turn supplies into ammo, I would be very tempted. But I do want to start getting some, some barricades out of here too, for sure. So Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. I do have 2 Refugees units on the board. I can move one of them a space toward town center. I'm going to use these refugees and move them there. We are now doing the infection phase. I need to roll. I need to roll higher than a 3. I rolled a 7. That's cool. And then we're going to need to do the eat phase. I have no units in the refugee camp, no units in the hospital, so that's fine. Zeds are activating. Zeds are activating on the mountain track. Bam, this goes up. It's going to be the same math as last time. We have a ×3. It becomes a ×2. Go high. We have a 7. Oh, no damage. That's bad. And then 3 damage to this unit. He is dead. And we have a chaos marker now in the mine. So that's done. We're now activating the forest track. They're going to move up for the first time this game. We are going to get 3 event actions. And what do we have? At the end of this phase, if a player unit is in the farm space, increase your supplies by a roll of the dice. We're going to place the goodies marker there as a reminder of that. What do I want to do? I don't know if getting to that farm is going to be worth it. What I could do is I could move Big Wheels Carter that way. I want to start moving him out anyway, so sure, why not? We'll use the player action thing. I'll try to always use that first, just a matter of remembering. and just put him there, because then he's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He'll get to the start space, and that'll be great. So we have 3 more actions in initiative. I'm going to use the initiative to do a forage action in the town. What do I roll? I rolled a 1. Totally unsuccessful. Unsuccessful, not unsuccessful. Unsuccessful roll there. We are now going to do our final 3 actions. I could research again. Seems a little unwise. Obviously, things are getting a little hairy up in the mountain track, so I don't love that. We have the auxiliaries could make a difference there, so we're going to spend 1 action. They can move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is pretty strong for a heroic civilians. So I like that. They get +1 hand-to-hand combat. I don't want to move them to full 4. Might make more sense to move them to 3. Yeah, that'll be better. That way, if these guys move, I can push them back. You know, if something else happens, they'll have the terrain shift. So there's some options for sure. So we'll leave them there. I have 2 more actions. I'm going to move with 1, and then the other one, I'm going to spend 3 resources. I go from 13 down to 10, and we're going to build the strong point. Where is it? It's on his card, Greg. All right, we have the strong point there. So that should really help dealing with some things going on. The chaos marker there is not great, but that's fine. They'll make a lot of defense options when it comes to the highway track. So those are all my actions. We're going to ready this. We're going to ready this. Not doing a lot of attacks early, but kind of like this way is setting up. Haven't had any really unfortunate fate draws, so things are looking okay. We'll see. But a lot of things I want to do, obviously. And at this point, you have to start deciding, how am I going hard on the research? Because I really need to get moving on that then. And then, I mean, I have a number of bullets, but they can start going quick. So we have to really start figuring out how we want to make some of these things work. Now, don't forget, in the next 9 cards, 3 of them are going to be special events. That's really bad. But we'll see. Hopefully we don't get too unlucky with that. Bam. Flaming Zeds. Great. Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, and Rescuers. These suckers can move here. And that's fine because we had a 1 in that 4R card. We have the infection phase, nothing, eat, no. Now, during this phase, each Zeds unit or Zeds mob that enters or leaves a chaos space receives a 2 shift in their direction in hand-to-hand combat attacks. Each Zed unit that enters or leaves a chaos space also suffers 1 hit after its move, but only after a combat is resolved. This applies to both units in an infected Zeds mob. Interesting. So a lot to go on with that. So we are going to activate the mountain track. This dude is leaving that space. It has a chaos marker, so he suffers a hit. So that worked out fairly well. Right, but there was no combat. He just activated, took a hit, and now he's on the weaker side. His first hit was because of, oh, I never did this. The goodies, so I was needed to roll a die at the end of the player phase. I rolled a 4, so we actually have 4 more supplies, so we go from 10 to 14. All right, so he got the first hit from the truck. He got the second hit in one of the 2 combats over there, and he got the 3rd hit now because he's a flaming Zed, so he's coming out of a very fiery situation, and it just, you know, Zeds, they don't hate fire, but clearly does some damage over time. That's how it works, people. We are now going to activate the suburbs track. That dude goes there. Again, the chaos thing doesn't matter. We now go to the action phase. 2 event actions. What are we doing? What are we doing? Kingman, that's still pretty strong. I'm wondering if I wanted to set the mine out, but I guess I think it makes more sense to wait. And I don't mind that attack either. Don't forget the auxiliaries are going to have a 2 bump on that, so that's looking good. We could send the truck again. Everything's looking good. I'll tell you what. All right, let's do this. So Deputy Schmidt's going to do an attack. He's going to spend an ammo. We're doing a gunfire attack of a 4, and we're going to attack this dude here. We rolled a 6, gunfire attack of a 4. Just 1 damage. All right, that will do. We have our next action. I'm going to do this player action up here. We're going to do a research action. It's a 5 or a 6 to advance because of a G. I need to roll a 4, 5, or a 6. We rolled a 6. She's showing off early. Bam. Remove 1 chaos marker for free with no infection increase. Well, that's nice. I'll remove the chaos marker from Lucky Strike Mine. Now, if there was a Zeds unit there, it's almost pointless because you remove it and then all of a sudden it's just going to like go back, right? So it's Not the greatest thing, but that was helpful. So the research is done. Remember, you can only successfully research twice a turn, or once a turn. Now, if you have something else that allows you to research, then it's fine, and you can make that work. But generally, you're only researching once a turn. So that's done. We are going to... What are we going to do? I'll tell you what. 2 actions. Could just try to run over that dude with the truck while I have these actions to kind of burn. I could try to get a barricade out somewhere. I don't hate that. I don't hate it. So we're going to move these guys out here, and then we're going to spend, and remember that's a really strong unit. We're going to spend another action and 2 supplies, and we're going to get a barricade there and try to cover up the forest track a bit. All right, let's flip this. Let's flip this. This comes off. Next event card. What do we got? Nuclear meltdown. Ooh, that is why I did not want Kingman chilling in the nuclear power plant too long. I forgot that's a chapter 2 card. It's so sick. Raiders, Rangers, refugees, rescuers. What are we doing? So the refugees is at 1, so I can move this one closer. I'm not going to move this. I feel fairly good about that combat over there. Do I? Just in case. We'll move this here, and that will be fine. We are going to roll. I need to roll higher than a 4, otherwise we have an outbreak. Nope, we're good. I need to eat. I don't need to roll. I have 0 plus 0 is still 0. And now the Zeds phase. We are going to activate 3 tracks, but first, at the beginning of the Zeds phase, check the nuclear power plant space. Any units there suffer 2 damage and immediately retreat. Place a chaos marker on that space. Oh, any units there suffer 2 damage and immediately retreat. Oh, did that kill the refugees? Oh, then I definitely would not have moved those. No, we'll move those guys. Yeah, I don't want to kill them. They're a unit. They suffer damage. I'm pretty sure they would still die. I'm not sure if they're going to die or not, but it's not worth it to figure that out. So we'll just move them. No unit can enter there the rest of the turn. So we have a no entry thing. Where's the goodies thing? Oh, it's there. I'll put it over there. And that is fine. We're activating the highway track. This dude comes in. Now there's 2 options. Infection level is definitely going up. I could have it do a 5 to a 2 with a 3 shift. I could have a 5 to a 3 with a 4 shift because of Kingman. Again, when he's defending hunker down plus the 3. I'm going to do a 5 to a 2 with the 3 shift. So it's Zeds times 2. It becomes human advantage because, again, the benefit of the strong point. It's super, super cool. I'm going to roll and hopefully roll higher than a 5. I rolled a 9. Beautiful. So 3 damage. So this flips and remains that 1 hit that was already on there. And then 1 damage to the civilians. So now they're kind of weaklings. But they've done their job and they've done it admirably. Yes, they have. Cool. So that's done. Now we're going to activate the Met Forest track. This goes up. We're going to activate the suburbs track. This comes up. This is going to go up. This goes away. We're doing a 3 to a 3 with a terrain shift, or I can do it with Deputy Schmidt. We'll save Schmidt for a second. So we're going to do equal to becomes human advantage because of that. I'm rolling. And, woo! Glad I saved Schmidt because I just rolled a 3. So that's 3 damage. And this flips. And Schmidt's also going to retreat. And we get a chaos marker here. Good deal. So yeah, that would have been really bad had I rolled a 2 with Schmidt. I would have been very sad. I mean, I could have re-rolled with them, but yeah, there's obviously the martial arts comes in handy, but it's not a great position to be in, hoping to roll better the second time, or, you know, losing one of your units possibly this early in the game. So we go to the event phase. I get 3 event actions. And fine, so we're going to do initiative. I'm going to spend a bullet. We're doing a gunfire attack of a 4. We rolled a 3. That's garbage. I'm going to do a player action. I'm going to spend another bullet doing a gunfire attack of a 4. That's an 11. That's much better. That's 3 damage and the 1 hit. So I like that. I like that a lot. 3 more actions. I could try to research again, which is probably smart. Kind of on top of a lot of things here. Could try to get a little crazy with the truck. Yeah, why not? So we're going to do this. The truck's going to move. 1, 2. I'm going to hopefully roll a 4, 5, or 6. I do. 1 damage. So I want to go back and hit him again. Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't hate that. So we're going to go back. So I have 1 more point of movement after this. So this is totally legit. And bam, I did it again. Oh, man, this is great. And then he goes back there. Now, plow through, you have to be going through, right? I can't like, "Durr, I can't go 5 and 6 again." No, I'm definitely going through. So I got him twice, and now I'm in pretty good shape to make sure he's taken care of. So I have 2 more actions. Let's do our research action with Professor G. I rolled a 2. Let's do 2 research action with Professor G. There we go. Early research. Turn down the loud music. Immediately retreat the Zeds unit in any one space. Well, that's nice. That's nice. Sure, I'll move these guys back, and then I'll try to run them over with Carter next turn and get Carter to the start space of the forest track, which could be cool, and kind of refill one more time. I'm thinking about doing a Mother of Invention action now, but I don't love that idea. So I think I'll just chill, hopefully have those hit markers could be removed. And I'm going to have an outbreak at some point. Nah, that's fine. That's fine. And notice I'm not reading the flavor text on these cards. It's cool. It just adds so much time to these playthroughs. It's not worth it. All right, so I'm going to refresh. No, I kind of want to use Carter again. If I lose those 2 hits, I lose those 2 hits. It's not a big deal. So that refreshes, Discarding that. No entry marker comes away. And event card. What is it? All right, well, it is an event, but they're not going to lose their hit marker, so that makes me happy. So brains, conduct this special turn only. So I'm going to have a increase of 6 up to 10. We might be getting an unchecked outbreak here. I have to do the math real quick. And now we're going to activate all of our tracks. And notice we haven't activated the tunnel track yet, which is super nuts. So there's a whole bunch of things with like stacking limits and catacombs and stuff that we'll kind of get to. But all tracks activate with each Zed unit moving once if they blah, 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 blah. All right, let's make this happen, people. So we're going to advance this guy, comes here, infection level goes up. I'm going to do human times 2 because it's a 1 to a 2, and make it times 3 because of the terrain shift. So I'm defending with those dudes. And I rolled an 8. That's 3 damage. This Zed unit is out. Regular Zed's bag is hither. Now, we're activating the next track. We're activating the forest track, move those dudes back so they are not going to attack us. Activating this track. All right, this comes in. This goes up. Yeah, we are going to have an unchecked outbreak. Oh, it's so bad. Yikes. It is what it is. So that goes up. We receive +1 of all hand-to-hand. So it's equal to, becomes human advantage because of the auxiliary's special ability, and then becomes human times 2 because of the terrain shift in the campground. What do we got? I rolled a 7. So that's 3 damage, 1 damage on the auxiliaries. Bam. And we go here. Goes up, unchecked outbreak. So we are going to pull the fate card and we'll deal with this in a second. It's a 3 to a 1. Do I want to do this with Kingman? No. No, we're going to do this against the level 1 units there. So it's going to be Zeds times 3, but then we have a triple terrain shift because of the strong point. So that's going to go. We rolled a 5. So it's 1 damage, 2 damage. These guys are dead. The refugees are devoured. Well, they're not devoured yet. He's going to retreat. They take over here. I'm not doing a saving roll. They're going to be devoured after. So let me do the outbreak first. So we're going to do unchecked outbreak. I roll that. It's an 8. So this goes down to 5. This goes back up to 7. These dudes are devoured. I'm pretty sure that's the order of operations there. I did it to my disadvantage if it's not. And then we have Where, Mountain Living Dead, St. Thomas Historic Graveyard, Burst with Undead. Place 2 new regular Zed units as a Zeds mob into St. Thomas. Oh, that's... That's interesting. Yikes. Oh, the Zeds unit 1 too, which is really bad. Yeah, it's probably a strategic mistake there. That's fine. I still have Colonel Kingman with Hunkered Down. He'll have a human advantage, but I would have been like, oh yeah, that was a really bad decision. Because I would have been, what did I roll, a 5, 6? Yeah, I would have definitely killed those guys. That's fine. So we're going to, now we have a Zeds mob there. We'll do that combat in a second. So this will go away. Really awful first event. Now he advances again. This goes up. Kingman's defending. It's a 3 to a 3. It becomes a human advantage because of Hunkered Down. Please roll higher than a 6. We rolled a 7. That's fine. 2 damage. We've killed this unit, and Kingman takes 1 damage. So he's going to go back to get help. Now notice the strong point did not get destroyed. Barricades normally get destroyed when his Zed unit goes through the space. Doesn't apply for the barricades. This is going to be a combat up here. So that's interesting. Now, this isn't a brains thing. So this is just a combat. It is what it is, and we're done. So I'm going to defend with this unit. This goes away. It's going to be a 10 to a 3. Oh, do I just do it with... Nah, I'll do it with Carter. Yeah, I'll do it with Carter. That's fine. So it's going to be a 10 to an 8. So it's Zed's advantage. It now becomes an equal to because of the terrain shift on St. Thomas. By defending with Carter, there's also no infection increase either, right? Because again, truck. So what are we doing? We're going to roll... This is really bad. So it's at equal to. We rolled a 4. Not the greatest. 3 damage to Carter. He backs up. This backs up. And now this flips and backs up, and now we have a chaos marker. Yowza. Well, Carter might be short-lived for this. Yeah, that was a, again, real bad decision on my part. Defending with, but I was still going to have that Zed's mob over there to deal with. And now we still have to activate the tunnel track, so that goes there. That's it. No chance to respond. We just draw the next event card. That's what we got. Toxic Zeds, Raiders, Rangers, Refugees. There are 2 left on the board. I'll move these dudes. And Rescuers. We are now rolling. I need to roll higher than an 8. I rolled a 9, so we're good there. And, oh, it's Unchecked Outbreak. Shoot. The Unchecked Outbreak's on Mountain. We get a Super Zeds in the Mountain. I was like, I knew I was forgetting something. That's where that got all messed up. I was like, oh, we're going to add a Toxic, blah, 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 blah. No. We also have a Super Zeds in the Mountain, and we're contending with the Doom Zeds. They're kind of gross. So what the Doom Zeds do is they never lose, so they always force retreat. So even if you win, you lose until those suckers are dead. So obviously that could be really dangerous as they get closer and closer to town center, which is nice that we have, again, that unit right there. So we'll see if we can start dealing with them. So I now drew the Doom Zeds. Fine. They are Doom Zeds, right? Is that what you're called?
What is your name? Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Yeah, those are Doom Zeds. Great. We are now going to eat 1, so we lose a supply. Again, I rolled a 9 for the infection phase, and we're fine there. When I pulled him, yeah, I had already activated the mountain track, so they don't move. Just like I had already activated the forest track, so those guys didn't move again. So the brains, you do in any order you want. But if I had pulled that event and I hadn't activated forest, if I had pulled that event when I was doing the suburbs and I then activated forest, those guys would now be part of the brains event, which could have been really bad. So I did the eating, I did the infectioning, Zedsing. We're going to activate the highway track. We're going to get regular Zeds because there's no Zeds units there. Oh, at the end of the last phase, oh shoot! During the housekeeping, this would have gone away, this would have gone up. So I actually did have an outbreak when I rolled that 9. This goes down to 0. We pull another event card. We are going to add a regular Zed because this is not an unchecked outbreak. This is just a regular outbreak. So we're going to have a regular Zeds go in the area of the most Zeds units. There's 3 there, 0, 1, 0 at the time. So we're actually putting the regular Zeds unit in the forest track, and that's going to go where? Well, it's going to go in the place with the chaos token close to the town center. Stacking limit applies. It moves back here. That's an awesome event. I can hold this for later, and then play it during the action phase to get myself another hero. So that's a good fate card.
Yes, please.
And then we activate the highway track because of this card. We put a Zed unit there, and then we activate it again. It's going to move up. Sorry about all that. Oh, you know what I was forgetting to do? Well, assume I was failing all the time, is that I never rolled for Colonel Kingman's defensive perimeter because I just forget things. I'm struggling. I haven't messed the rule up yet, I don't think, except just forgetting for advantages. So that's a little rough. Yowza. We are now doing a few things. At the beginning of this phase, place a new Zed unit in the highway track start space. So we get another unit in the highway track, which is exactly what we needed. Place a Toxic Zeds marker on the strongest unit in play. It's a regular unit, so the Doom Zeds don't matter. And I have a bunch of 6s. I'm going to put it on this dude because there's a tie, so I can decide which one I want to do it on. So I have 2 player actions. This has taken a turn, people. I'm going to do initiative, move here. You can clear up that chaos marker. I mean, I'm a fool's errand to try to keep suburbs track clean. Probably a mistake. Yowza. We are going to spend an action to try to go heal Kingman up. So he's moving 4. Debating whether I want to put the mine down before I go. Seems a little bit unnecessary. I'd rather have the mine here. Kingman just can go down with the ship too. And then maybe get a saving roll out of him. I'm going to move Carter back here. I'm going to spend a supply to heal him. I want to try to get Carter back to full strength, and I can try to send him out again. Once a turn, he can heal. Because, you know, you're doing mechanical stuff. Oh, yeah, by the way, the truck's name is Rose. So, in case anyone was wondering at home. And actually, I'll use this for this. Yeah, I guess we should try to research. Yeah, with defensive perimeter, it might make sense to kind of keep the Colonel on the highway track to the end here. So, he's going to move here. We're going to do an action to spend 2 resources and ammo, and we're going to get the landmine there. And then I'm going to use Mother of Invention, increase that by 3, and hopefully get lucky with a research roll. I rolled a 2, I did not. But we were at 0, so it felt like a good time to try to risk that. Oh, play during the action phase. I will do this. I have to place a new random available hero unit in either town center or any start space. So I'm going to play that. I have 17 heroes left. I'm rolling my d20. I rolled 15. So we're going to go back. Oh, Alyssa, darling, how do I love you? We're going to put her in the start space. I'm sorry, town center. So she has this thing called Zen. When we do a hold for later, she gets an extra action usable only on her, right? So once per turn, when you play a hold for later fate card, she receives a character action to spend on her turn only, usable only during that turn's action phase. Place the Zen marker on this card to keep track of when you have used that ability. Great. So she has an Assassin Strike, which is pretty sick. When she enters a space with Zeds or Raider units or vice versa, you roll a die. If you roll a 1, normal hand-to-hand combat ensues. If you roll a 2, you move back 1 space or fight normally. It's your choice. And 3, 4, 5, or 6. So most of the time, you attack the Zeds or Raiders with an Assassin hand-to-hand strike. So if they move into your space, you're still attacking. So say I got Zed Streets. I want to get the +1 hit if I was doing an Assassin Strike. Now, what's the bonus of an Assassin Strike? Well, no increase in, what you call it? No increase in that thing. No infection level increase, which is super nice. You get a +2 shift on this, but you don't get the terrain shift. So it doesn't stack with any other shifts that might be there. And you don't take damage. So you still do the retreat results. So if I lost, even though I don't take any damage, I would still have to move back into the other space. But yes, she can be really, really strong and really make some difficult situations be a lot less difficult. So she is now in play. Happy to have her on the team. All right, we're going to refresh this, refresh this, refresh this. Going away. Event card. I think we have 2 more. Oh, we do. Oh, I knew that was going to happen. That's what I was afraid of. But I really didn't have a chance to do anything with it. That bad roll with Carter kind of set up for a lot of badness here. So we're going to Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. It's 2. So I have 3 refugees on the board. So I'm going to move this one and this one. Oh, this should have come away during housekeeping. So chaos marker, infection level up. Why did I move this one? Because if there's no chaos there, if I do a fate draw and have to put a Zeds there, I don't want the refugees just to be devoured because we're just chilling on the closest village to town center. So those 2 move. We are now infection. We don't have to worry about it. Eat. Don't have to worry about it. Zeds. At the beginning of this phase, place a new Zeds unit on the start space of every track. So 1, 2, 3. There's some big numbers out here. 4 and 5. And we're activating every track. So activating the suburbs. They go there. Activating the forest. They go in. This goes up. It's Zeds times 3. I'm sorry, Zeds times 3, it goes Zeds times 2 because of the terrain shift. I would like a 12. I got a 6. That's 3 damage. Retreat. Thing. Chaos marker. These guys move up. Oh, and I had to remove all hit markers from Zeds. I think those are the only Zeds that had hit marker on it. That's great. And that goes up. Doom Zeds are going to move. We're going to turn this into a Zeds control space with a chaos marker. And that goes up. And then this guy goes up, and this Zeds mob goes up, and then this goes up, this goes up. Yowza. We are now having 1 action. I will remember you. And we have initiative. Initiative, I'm going to spend this and a bullet, do a gunfire attack of a 4.
I would like a 10.
I would like an 11. Just as good. 3 damage. Thank you. Thank you, Deputy Schmidt. Think I continue to try to do this research. Player action. Player action to do a research roll. I need a 4, 5, or 6. I got a 1. It's the mother of frustration. Forget the mother of invention. I'm going to spend a resource to heal one of these. Again, no infection decrease. Do I want to strike with Alyssa? I'll tell you what. Do I want to strike with Alyssa? It's a little risky. I mean, I just got her. That whole track's starting to look a wee bit scary. I don't know why I just remembered this now, but I just realized Carter should have flipped when I started doing the heal stuff. Yeah, he should absolutely be on his healthier side, because again, he came in, he had 3 damage, so the first time I had to flip him over, I put a 2 on him. I just forgot to flip him, so now he's 1 away from full strength, which is good. I think I'd go with it with Alyssa and just kind of have her start to take control of the forest track. It's clearly my worst track, so we're going to spend this action. She's got a movement of 5, so she comes in. So what's happening? I'm rolling a die. I rolled a 3. Great. We're doing an assassin strike. I'm rolling 2. What is it? So it's a 10 to a 3. So that's Zeds times 2, but I get a double shift. So now it's a Zeds advantage. And if I, can roll an 8 to a 12 here, it'd be huge. I rolled an 11. Oh, clean living, kids. So 2 damage. The best part of this, though, is they both retreat. Stacking limit pushes them all the way back here. And remember, there was also no infection level increase because Alyssa Darling's amazing. She gets to chill here, and we'll start kind of try to reclaim this forest track here. And I'll have Carter back in a second at full strength and try to send him through. So if I have her and she does assassin strikes, doesn't take any infection level increase, and I have Carter who doesn't take any infection level increase in hand-to-hand combat, that'd be really, really nice in how this can play out. So this goes here, this goes here. I will have this go away.
Alyssa, welcome to the team. You're amazing.
Event card. So we can take a look at this. Right now we have 3 regular events and we've done 2 of the special events. So we actually have 4 more cards in chapter 2, and one of them is going to be another special event because this one is not. So we are going to do Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. We'll send these refugees into the suspension bridge space. The suspension bridge space is what I was trying to say there. We are going to do infection roll. I need to roll higher than a 5. I rolled a 5. Yeesh. Fate card. Regular Zed unit. Where's it going? It's going into highway. Ugh.
We get ourselves the infected vermin.
So goes in the highway track, which is super bad. So it's going to go chaos space closer to the thing. So now we have a double Zeds there. And of course I pulled the 9. And of course the highway track is activating this turn. Oh, Kingman, I'm going to miss you. This is not going to end well for you, buddy. So we do the play discard. Place the infected vermin. Standee in the start space where there are the most Zeds units. There are 4 here. There are 4 there. I think I like it better here. I'm going to put a reminder token here so I do try to not forget to increase the infection level every time that unit is not on the start space. So we'll see how that goes. So again, that was the infection phase. We now go to the eat phase. Eat phase, we're going to eat 1, so that gets eaten. And now Zeds phase. Zeds come. Oh, I can actually try to do it. Defensive perimeter, 5 or 6.
Yes!
This is so great. It's so good when that happens. All right. So the move is thwarted. They can't move. These guys can't move because they're stacked and they're stuck. That was huge. Every once in a while, I remember I have advantages and I remember to use them. Great. Actions. 2. At the end of this phase, so the research discovery, if a player unit is in the university space, which I just happen to be, we turn over the next card of the research deck for free. That's everything. That is awesome. What am I doing? Well, I'm still going to try to get through 2 cards this turn then, because then I can actually get myself a super weapon, maybe. So we're going to spend that action. I need a 4, 5, or 6. Come on, Ajit. There you go. We're going to get through 2 of these cards this turn, and I love it. Research materials needed. While this is the current research card, you may spend 1 supply instead of 1 action to conduct research. Fine. I like that card too because it's really easy to get through. But I'm happy that we'll get through 2 cards this turn, and that makes life a little bit easier. We're going to spend a supply to heal up Carter. Again, no infection level decrease because, he's a truck. Oh, infection level should be at a 1 because we restored order. One day I'll remember to do that. And you all rejoice at me remembering rules. I like having the auxiliaries here. I'm hoping I just keep pushing the Doom Zeds until I have a better way to deal with them. Or I could just send Carter that way, which would be interesting. Normally, again, when you have the disease spreaders, they don't get any damage on them unless there's no other units in the space. Carter, when he does his plow, if he's successful, he does 1 damage to everyone in the space, including disease spreaders. So it's a pretty nice thing for sure. Man, the crazy thing is I had 2 damage on this guy, then I had to put 2 damage on it again, or was it this guy? One of the 6s. So yeah, a lot of inefficiencies happening up the forest track for real. But I digress. I still have these security guards. All right, let me talk more about the tunnel track because I haven't yet. So stacking limits in the tunnel track, every space can only have 1 unit, like the Catacombs, which could have unlimited, and you could have 2 in town center basement. All right. That's actually all on the board, which is super nice. The Catacombs get weird because you have a unit in the Catacombs before they have to move out. You figure out where their target is, and you have to roll a die. And then certain things happen based on the number of die rolls. However, if you have a player unit that has that diamond, they don't get lost in the Catacombs because they're like super elite and they just want to get lost in Catacombs. This is not what they do. So these guys would actually be able to get through. Those are the only 2 diamond units that I have in play. There are others. I digress. What do I want to do? Is what I keep asking. Man, I could keep trying to do these strike things with Alyssa, which is kind of nuts. The problem is if I roll really bad, she is just going to be super toast in a way that worries me. In a way that definitely worries me. But, I mean, if I just kind of see her as like, yo, I didn't have you to start the game. I'm just going to try to take advantage of you while I have you. I don't hate that. I mean, that track really is a mess. I don't want to start burning through what's left of my ammo. I only have 3 ammo left, which is pretty wild. I feel like I haven't used much of it at all. At all. Well, hopefully this is a super weapon card. Hopefully this is a super weapon card. We have an initiative. I'm going to do a forage action with Deputy Schmidt because he's in a namespace. He rolls a 5. He gets a supply. Awesome. One of the things I could do, I mean, these special units, these security forces, they actually move 3, I think. What do? Yeah, they move 3 when they move. So I could have one of those guys like abandon ship because they're just chilling. But the Catacombs can get really hairy really quick if you're not careful. So maybe I'll just leave them there for now. I think Alyssa does it. Just hopefully I don't roll bad. This goes in. She's going in for the assassin strike. Do not roll a 1. Oh... I rolled a 1. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. So normal hand-to-hand combat. They're a toxic Zeds, so the infection level goes from 1 to a 4, which is awesome. They're attacking with a Zeds times 3, because 11 to a 3. I have nothing to augment that, because I am the one attacking. She's rugged, so we have that. We have that going for us. Zeds times 3. I rolled a 5. That's 4 damage. So rugged did not cancel that one. Again, rugged only cancels on a 5 or a 6. Did not cancel that one. We're doing a saving roll. We did save, so infection level goes up. She goes to the hospital with an EKG marker on top of her. So that didn't go well. And then I'm gonna heal her. This, and she will be full strength when I heal her next turn. And we can try it again. So it was a gamble. I mean, honestly, if they entered that space next turn and I rolled a 1, it would have been the same results. I was trying to be a little bit more aggressive with it. Just sometimes you roll 1s. Sometimes if you're me, you roll 1 slots. But I've been rolling fairly well, so I can't complain too much about that. Oh, end of the round. I have a player there. We flip over the next card. Be the super weapon that you want to be. Yes! Woo! Now, what happens? The first time you get a super weapon card, you actually gain the super weapon itself, which is cool. I'll just put it there instead of over on that space since it goes off the camera. And I could take a couple of different things. I am going to take these Zed Streets. Now, when you defend, you do +1 damage. That can be very, very nice. The other thing I would take, especially with Alyssa, since she survived her saving roll, I would actually take is the Zed's Knuckles, which can be really strong as well. You know, if I had a lot more bullets, which I don't, then you would obviously start looking at some of the other weapons. Oh, wow. You know what? The gas canister is super interesting, but it makes you add chaos markers, which I don't love. But I'm fairly good with chaos markers right now. Yeah, the gas one is you can basically do 4 hits plus a chaos marker in an adjacent space. It's not something I've done a lot, but looking at where I'm at right now, and it actually does work on disease spreaders. Oh, man. And everyone can use it. I'm actually sitting on a fair amount of chaos markers. I'm really tempted. In the next research, I need to spend a supply. And then I need to get 4, 5, or 6. Maybe that's better than Zed Streets right now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the... What do they call it? I just had it. Let's make sure I say the name. The gas grenade. Spend an action to do 4 hits. Distribute it as evenly as possible. That's the kicker. But with Carter, that actually makes a lot of sense. Because then he can make them all weak. Yeah, let me do that. I've never done this before, kids. You're seeing it here first, live, in Solo Playthroughs land, except pre-recorded and taped and edited, but almost live. awesome. We have ourselves a plan. Here's the thing, what I'm thinking. Say these guys move in here. I throw a cast, I put 2 damage on each of them. Carter comes through. He puts them all on their weakened side. It's really a thing, but it's going to be some detriment to it too. I just got to make sure I'm managing this chaos markers really well. We'll see. We'll see how this strategy works, right? I get 8. I get 8 of these to play with. Okay. Fine. And remember, a G can now leave there and she can start healing chaos. And instead of going +1, it goes -2. So something to consider there. You know, it's a thing. It's a thing. All right, event card. What do we got? It's still not the last special event, which I probably will be a brains. Maybe not. There's one's a brains, one's a not, I think, with chapter 2. So the airborne contagion rumors. Raiders, rangers, refugees, rescuers. Refugees 1, so I'm going to move that there. Factions phase, no. Eat 2, so I'm down from 6 supplies down to 4. So those have left pretty quick. Zeds, all tracks are advancing. So this goes here. We are now going to increase that. It's human advantage, human ×2 because of the terrain shift. It is human ×3 actually because of Eagle Scout. So that's a nice little bonus. We're going to roll. I rolled a 10. That's 3 damage. This unit is just defeated. Just defeated. These guys go here. Chaos marker. Up, up, up. So now that's going to be a thing starting next round. We are moving these guys. We're moving these guys. We're moving these guys in. Oh, I could try to cancel it. 5 or 6. Yes! Defensive perimeter. For the win. Holy cow. We're going to move these guys into the catacombs. These guys go here. Beginning of this phase, we get 1 event action, which is not a lot. No more above ground move actions are allowed this phase. Fear of a wind-blown contagion freezes movement. That could be really bad. That could be really bad. So we're foraging with Deputy Schmidt. He rolled a 3. Nada. Nothing happening. I can't move.
I can't move.
Wow. Yeah, if that's a brains event, this could get ugly real quick. We're going to spend an action to try to send the Doom Zeds back. I'll do this one. So I need over a 7. I rolled a 5. We're going to spend another action to try to send the Doom Zeds back. I rolled a 4. Woo! I'm going to do Mother of Invention. This goes up 3. And if I can't send them back, might as well try to limit the damage here. Again, Mother of Invention. That was just an unfortunate series of rules. Mother Invention got me the action. I'm going to put a chaos marker and 4 damage on his Doom Zeds. So he's only got 2 health left. And I think that makes some sense. All right, that's the end of the turn. This goes away. Done. Event card. It's not brains, so that makes me a little bit happier. So I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the next card is definitely not a special event. So the doctor is in. Raiders, rangers, refugees, rescuers. Again, infection phase happens. This goes up because the stupid thing is now off of the start space, the disease spreader. At the end of this phase, immediately place. Wow. Well, it doesn't matter. It's up because now it goes all the way to 13. We have an unchecked outbreak. So I'm rolling these. I get 8. I get down to 5. And we pull a fake card. We have to put a Super Zeds where? Oh, man, you gotta be kidding me. We're putting a Super Zeds in player's choice. I will put it in player's choice. So we put it here. It's closest chaos marker. Stacking limit goes back to there. Oh, it is the weenie Zeds that become super strong. It is the Ravagers. That's what they are. Got it. So now we do this plot twist, play this card. So we have to roll first for supplies. I rolled a 6, no effects. Now for ammo, I rolled a 3. I lose 1 ammo, so I have 2 left. So eat, no, don't have to worry about that. Zeds are activating on the highway. 5 or 6 again, please. Nope, no such luck. This comes in before anything happens hand-to-hand combat. We're doing a gunfire attack with a 7 because of the mine. Rolling that. I rolled a 9. And that's going to be 3 damage. So I can flip this guy over. So that goes down from a 9 to a 4. Now hand-to-hand. So this goes up. It's a 10 to a 2. So it's Zeds ×3 between hunker down and the terrain shift. It's human advantage. I rolled a 4, which is not that good. So 1 damage on this dude. And this is not an A space, so it won't get a chaos marker. But he's dead. We do a saving roll. I failed. So Colonel Kingman is no longer with us. Valiant efforts, Colonel Kingman. So this Zeds mob will chill there. This Zeds mob comes up here. This dude comes there. Okay. We are now going to activate the mountain track. Doom Zeds are coming in. That is going to get a chaos marker after this because, again, they're going to send me back. The infection level is going to go up. It's going to be a 5 to a 3. So that's Zed's advantage. It becomes human advantage because Fire Axe trained and the terrain shift. A 6. It's 2 damage. Doom Zeds are dead. And since they're dead, I'm not forced to retreat. Wait, am I forced to retreat? I think I'm still forced to retreat. Yep, terror. So I'm still forced to retreat even though the Doom Zeds are super dead. All right, so this is a unique unit. Does not get put back in the bag. And that's out. So that worked, and 2 damage to the auxiliaries. So they are now on their weak side with the damage, 1 away from death. The Zeds never occupied that space alone. So we do not put a chaos marker there. Awesome. Now we're activating the tunnel track for the first time in this game. This unit is trying to leave the catacombs. We do a catacombs roll. They roll the 5. The unit just remains. This unit comes in and joins them. So we have 1 action, and we have this that's back. I'm going to do a player action to heal Alyssa. That lowers that. So she's back at full strength. She can move 5. Man, oh man. This is saving me with the chaos, but it's not great. But I'm going to use initiative to do a forage. Roll the 4, I get a supply because I'm in a namespace. I am spending an action to do 4 hits there. So I'll flip this one over. That just loses 2. Oh, and a chaos marker. I'm going to do Mother of Invention to have this go up 1, 2, 3. And then Alyssa's going in. Please roll a 3, 4, 5, or 6. I rolled a 3. Awesome. So no infection increase. We're doing an attack. It is a Zeds times 3. It becomes Zeds advantage. An 8 or higher would be awesome. I rolled a 6, which is not as awesome, but it does do 1 damage. And then she retreats. And now we got a big chaos mess. But hopefully we can start taking care of that next turn. So this goes away. Event card. Working a double shift. Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. Refugees is 1, so they can move there. We are going to roll. I need higher than a 9. I rolled an 11. Look at that. Eat. This goes down to a 4. Zeds are activating on the mountain track. These goes up. They're also activating on the highway track. These go up. We put a chaos marker here. These go up. We have a gunfire attack of a 4 because the mine's still there. A 3. Awesome. Mine can come off the board. And then these guys come up. We get 3 increase. Now, during this phase, I can increase the... Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I can increase the infection level by 3. Oh, this went up again. It should have gone up again for that. I rolled an 11, so we were fine. I can keep increasing it to either do free heal actions or I can do a free research actions. I can increase it 3 times, which obviously would be unchecked, which is super bad. Now, if I increase it 1 and then do a free heal action, it goes back down. If the heal happens like normal... But again, you can only heal every unit once. There's no one that makes a lot of sense for me to heal right now. And I could try with Alyssa again. I could try to put Carter in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. If he gets through, then he just battles those guys, which isn't terrible. But then he'd have to might come back and battle again. Oh, hand to hand. Let me do this. I'm going to raise that up to do a free research action. I still have to spend the supply. I just don't have to spend the action. So I need a 4, 5, or a 6. I rolled a 1. It raises again, reduce this. 4, 5, or a 6. I rolled a 5. Be another super weapon. Yes, super weapon feature. I'm going to get my second one. I'm going to get the knuckles. So when I do an attack action now, I get another terrain shift, which is really strong. Really, really strong. So what am I doing? I'm going to send Carter while I have this action and this action and this action. There's a good chance of an unchecked outbreak here, but that is... fine. I'm going to do a forage action with Schmidt. He fails.
Failure.
Again, I did a research action because of the event. I'm going to send Carter through because it could really make life a lot easier going forward. So he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, trying to plow. I need a 4, 5, or a 6. We rolled a 2. Ugh. Yikes. So now we're doing an attack. So he is the attacker. Infection doesn't go up because, again, it's a truck. Zed's advantage because it's a 5 plus a 4 to an 8. But because I have the Zed's knuckles now, it becomes an equal to. So we're rolling 9. Awesome. Now, thing with chaos markers, Carter can drive through areas of chaos markers, but if he starts his turn there, he can't move until the chaos markers are gone. So he's gonna be stuck there for a couple turns, and he will restore chaos tokens as normal. So equal to a 9 is a strong roll. So that's 2 damage to the Zeds, 1 damage to Carter, and the Zeds are gonna be forced to retreat. So I'm gonna make this dude flip and put 1 damage on the toxic Zeds. They're gonna back up, and remember the stronger number stays closer to town center. And this was going to go all the way back to where the disease spreader is. That's fine. Carter's going to start restoring order at the end of this turn. So I have both Alyssa and Carter kind of stuck there now, which isn't ideal. But that +1 on hand-to-hand attacks was obviously fairly strong. And not having to do the increase is also nice.
Because that would have been bad for me.
That's looking really bad. That is looking really bad. I have 2 supplies left. Yeah, I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. Catacombs have not been bad for us, so I'm not that worried. 1, 2, and then I'm going to use my last action and my last supplies, and we're going to get a barricade here. We have to start protecting the highway track a bit. Oh, it's going to be an unchecked outbreak. Shoot. Yeah, Carter's going to be totally stuck there. Yeah, I don't want another Super Zeds. And move this guy back. So I had those 2 supplies and I had those 3 actions. I'll do 1 action to send him there. I think that makes sense. A second action. I did spend an action. I forgot I flipped it over when I moved Carter. So I have 2 more actions. I'm going to spend another action to move the auxiliaries into here. And then I spend an action to heal them. Try to get them back to full strength. So a lot stronger. A lot stronger. They move 4, so I can actually move them all the way back to the campground, which is good. So now in housekeeping, then restore order, I don't have an unchecked outbreak, which is hopefully important. Hopefully we can keep that going. Oh, we're going to have an unchecked outbreak during the infection phase anyway, because that moves out the beginning of the phase. Oh, shoot. Well, I'm having an unchecked outbreak anyway, so yeah, we'll leave that there. Yeah, I'm having an unchecked outbreak anyway, so I think I do want to get this set up, especially while I have the supplies, and just kind of make sure I'm starting to take the highway check a little more seriously. This would have done in the housekeeping when this went away, unchecked outbreak. So I have to do a fate draw. What is it? Fewest Zeds units is going to get a Super Zeds. I need to roll. I rolled a 5. This goes from 13 down to 8. So we get a Super Zeds where in the fewest Zeds units. That is going to, oh shoot. 1, 0, 2. This goes here. It is brains. Are you kidding me? The berserkers, they always move as if it's a brains. Oh shoot, that is not good. That causes an automatic. So this is still housekeeping last time, so I haven't even seen this yet. Wow. Hold for later. This comes in. It was down at 8. It goes to 9. We have an attack. It's Zeds times 3. It goes to Zeds times 2. Please roll a 2. I rolled a 7. 3 damage and no damage. Chaos marker. It's going to move forward again. This goes up again. These are, not devoured yet. It's Zeds times 3. 9. 2 damage. Dead. These are devoured. And then this dude's going to go here because of brains. And now we have another chaos marker. That turned quick. The sub was great. Now it's got 2 chaos markers and a bunch of badness. Wow. And then that's going to trigger again. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, that's so ridiculous. And I only have 3 chaos markers left to play with. All right, event card. Raiders, Rangers, Refugees. Refugees will go there. All right, so move the Refugees. Beginning of the effective phase, this goes up. Unchecked outbreak, fate draw. We get a Super Zeds where Super Zeds go in the highway. It's going to be the place of the chaos marker. Can't fit, stacking limit. They move back to here. It is the, what are they called? The Oozers. They also do 3. We have to roll 9, so this goes down to a 4. Hold for later. Grim Determination. At play after a Zed's unit attacks and wins. Change the combat result to 1 hit and attacking Zed's retreat. That's amazing. It's a lot better. I feel a lot better that I have that card. Now, we have to make the roll anyway. So we have to roll more than a 4. I rolled a 7, so that's good. We have to eat. I have no more supplies, so I have to do a damage somewhere. I'm just going to wipe these guys out because they're kind of useless. I will do a saving roll for them because why not? I do. They go up. They go here. And they have an EKG marker. All right, we're activating the mountain track. These come here. Activating the highway track here, here, and here. So the truck can't move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alyssa can try to attack him. That probably makes some sense. Deputy Schmidt's going to move to Beauville. We got to get some chaos tokens back for sure. I'm going to play this save for later to reduce this by 2, which is going to give me access to Zen. I'm going to play Zen to move Alyssa because she's kind of not doing much there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. She's starting an attack. We roll a 3. So she's doing an attack. We have the Zed's Knuckles. So now we're going to get a no terrain shift because, again, she's magical. It is Zed's times 2 because it's 703. It's a double terrain shift because of the Assassin Strike plus 1 because of the Zed's Knuckles. We rolled a 5. So we were at human advantage. 5 does 2 damage to the Zed and they retreat. And now Alyssa's stuck there because of that chaos token. I can't take an action with him either because he just entered us with the chaos token, right? So this dude is surrounded. He now at least has 2 damage on him, and I was able to use the Zen and the whole 9 yards. So hopefully we can take care of that and clean up the suburbs track again. I got messed up. So I realized I had this out instead of this. So I just tried to like think through what would have been different. I wouldn't have had to do the eat roll, so this guy wouldn't have taken that last damage, which is fine. The 4R was still the same. What I would have had to do, instead of activating the mountain track and the highway track the way I did, just because I had the wrong card out, really sorry about that. I thought I put this away, I must have put it back, and I knew what I was going to do with Alyssa and playing the event to give her Zen, and I did Deputy Schmidt. So the event actions are still the same. So we saw 3 event actions, and the start spaces would have activated. There's nothing on any start space, so actually no Zeds would have moved at all, which is pretty strong. Everything is as it would have been. Oh, and the only other thing, I didn't do a saving roll, so my infection, it went from a 4 to a 5 and then down to a 3. It would have been a 3 to a 4 and then down to a 2 because I didn't have to do that. All right, so that's actually,
That's a bit better.
I will move Deputy Schmidt here still, even though that unit is still alive. Gunfire and hand-to-hand combats are prohibited this phase. Move actions cannot end to the player. Ugh.
Well, I lied.
I lied. It's not all the same. Shh, I know they're out there. Gunfire and hand-to-hand actions are prohibited this phase. Move actions cannot end with the player unit in its desk control space. So I will actually just move Alyssa here. I'm assuming that means I can't use the super weapon either. It's not a gunfire attack though. So hand-to-hand could not be done. We'll still move the Zen to get Alyssa there. That probably makes more sense. Ugh. That's a big bummer, man. I liked life a little bit more 5 seconds ago. This should have a chaos marker. So I'm down to 2. I could research again, but chances are good. There's like 5 cards left in the research deck and only 3 of them are super weapons. So I don't love that. I need some supplies from Carter is what I need. Oh, this is really bad. Those guys are stuck. Healing 2 chaos. I'm trying to look where I can use a gas grenade. That makes some sense, but I don't think there is. I mean, if I get a card that takes off damage, that's really bad. That's going to get a chaos marker. That is going to get a chaos marker. Yeah, get Professor G out of the laboratory. She's moving 1, 2, 3, 4. She'll move there. Get rid of that chaos marker. That's the point. Well, it's a non-named space, so that would make some sense. Clear that one up. Might be sacrificially, but I think that would still make some sense. And then I have one more action. I'm going to have these guys move into here just because. So that was the first action in chapter 3. These go away. Oh, I have this player action too. We'll do a heal action with that and do that. We'll review. So I did initiative, moved him here. I played a hold for later card, which gave me Zen. I used that to move Alyssa Darling down here. Then I had 4 actions total, so I moved the G twice. I moved the auxiliaries in, and I spent an action to heal them. It's a thing. We'll see how that works for me. What a garbage event. That was like such a whirlwind of emotions as I was figuring out the rules and where I was, and I was like, oh, that's the same. Oh, that's none of that's the same. Read every word, kids. Read every word. All right, event. What do we got? Elward Bearer arrives in the hospital. Raiders, Rangers, refugees, rescuers. So refugees 2. So this comes in. Oh wait, housekeeping. This restores. That goes up 2. This restores 1 each, and that goes down 2 instead of going up because a G did the restoration. So we have 5 chaos markers. So I've never had Barra. So let's see. So refugees 2. So this is going to come to the town space. This is going to go in. That infection level goes up. They go to the refugee camp. So that's cool. We're going to roll for infection level. I need to roll higher than a 2. I rolled 2 2s. I rolled a 4. Eat. Don't have to worry about it. Oh, infection level would have gone up to 3. We're going to activate the forest track. So this comes in. It is Zed's advantage. It becomes equal to because terrain shift. That doesn't go up because, again, they're fighting a truck. Oh, Rose, do it for the kids. She rolls an 8. A Carter rolls an 8. Whatever. 2 damage. So this flips and 1 damage on this one. They retreat. And Carter only gets 1 damage. So that's a really nice roll. Everything else is stacked. There is no stacking limit when it comes to the disease spreaders. So this thing will actually move. And that's good for Carter because Carter would do a damage to everything if we can successfully plow through. And that would be, that'd be nice. That'd be nice. And speaking of that, actually, I'm going to keep this and do 2 damage and 2 damage. And we're going to try to plow through and make that happen. So that was a nice turn of events. We're now going to do what? We're going to activate the tunnel track. We're going to go to the Catacombs space. Now, the strongest Zed unit always tries to move out first. This Zed unit is trying to get to Dr. Martusa's office. We roll. It's a 5. It remains. The 3 is trying to get to Dr. Martusa's office. It's a 2. It moves normally. All right, so one time that actually higher rolls are actually better for you as a player in like the entire game. So Elwood Bearer arrives in the hospital. At the beginning of this phase, we're going to get 2 event actions. In this phase, we're going to place Elwood Bearer marker on top of the infection marker on the infection track. He provides -1 infection at the end of each housekeeping phase. That is a beautiful thing. Hello, Elwood. Nice to meet you. You look like a doofus, but that's absolutely fine if you're going to do wonderful, nice things like that. Well, it's not terrible, especially have that. Oh, we could do some crazy things. I mean, this is a moment of truth for Carter. So again, he can plow through chaos spaces. Let's see what happens. So we're going to do a player action. Carter's moving through. We're rolling. Please give me a 4, 5, or a 6. I rolled a freaking 3. So Carter's going to get stuck again. So bad, man. It's so bad. This is an attack. Again, infection level doesn't go up because it's a truck, but it is an attack. So it's going to be equal to, again, because it's 10 to an 8. Remember, I gambled. I could have had that on the reduced side, but I was like, no, this is better because if I do this, they're both on the reduced side. And I'm worried I'm going to need an event that makes them take away all their garbage. So here we go. Equal to, man, let this roll go good. 7, 2 damage. They both now go on the equal side. 2 damage to Carter. He goes on his reduced side and gets a thing. They're now both going to retreat. Stacking limit applies. The 3 will stay there. The 1 goes to start, and both of those come off. So not exactly what I was hoping for, but it could have been a lot worse. At least we'll get that chaos marker back. And hopefully Carter can plow next turn and kill the disease spreader. And I'm going to roll a 4, 5, or 6. One day in my life. Oh, the chaos marker should go here in Dr. Martusa's office. Because of course it should, people. Alyssa is going to... Yeah, Alyssa's going to strike. We're going to move this event action. Come in here. And you know what? I'm just going to carry out. I don't want to roll again. We're carrying out what I did the first time I rolled that. And it's going to count, people. It is what it is. You can write a letter to my publisher. That's fine. So she's chilling there. And that was a good result. And I'm going to spend an action with the deputy and just do 4 damage and wipe this guy out. Thanks to my... What is this called? I don't know. The gaseous attack. I don't know. Gas attack from hell. What is it called? Why am I totally losing my mind right now? And people are like, I doubt you ever had a mind, Greg. It is called the gas grenade. Yeah, that's right. Gas grenade. Thank you. So killed that dude. Happy with that. Oh, I could have done that with initiative. Yeah, I could have. That makes even more sense. And then I'll do my final action. I will heal, and that goes down, and we'll heal this dude one more time. We go to housekeeping, initiative readies, this readies. Wonder if I should move a G. She's kind of in a dangerous spot. Dangerous spot. If she can move 4, or she can actually heal that. Yeah, I'll have this go up 3, Mother Invention, and have her move, because that chaos marker will definitely be ripe for some restoring of order. That event is cool. Welcome to my Zeds life here. We go to event card. What is it? Smart Zeds. What? That's craziness. All right, Raiders, Rangers, Refugees. Yeah, move these guys in. This goes up. Rescuers, we're rolling. This goes up because of the disease spreader. Our roll is a 4, so we do have an outbreak. Get a fake card. Give me a good one. Oh, it's not a good one. Oh. Restoring order here, restoring order here. So I actually needed a lot more than that. This was too higher. All right, one of these days I'll remember this. Bridge collapse. So we placed a bridge collapse marker on the Farmingdale suspension bridge space. Player units, Raiders, not Zeds, cannot enter that space. You may spend 1 action to flip the marker over to its ferry side, allowing units to enter that space, but they must cease their movement for that action. So much for having her come and restore that order. That's awesome. Basically, it's going to take us an action to flip it and then 2 actions to get through it. My question is, I think Alyssa just stays there. So Alyssa can actually exit normally, which is fine, but it was basically an outbreak. We have to put a new Zed unit in the suburbs. Oh, that's super interesting. So the Zed unit's going to go where? Town. Oh, there's a chaos marker there. Oh, that's so interesting. So this dude's going to go here. Wow. Well, that's actually fine. That works out better. I'll be able to take care of him, I think, pretty quickly. It's only a 4. So that's done. So we did the infection phase. We do eat. We have to roll a 1, 2, 3. So I need higher than a 3. I rolled a 4. There we go. Activating the suburbs track twice. Wild. So this comes in here. We're going to see if we're doing an attack. We are doing attacks. Even though we're defending, we're actually attacking. So again, the Zed's Knuckles will apply. It is a 4 to a 3, so it's Zed's advantage. We don't get the terrain shift, but we get the 2 shift because of the Assassin Strike, and then another shift because of the Zed's Knuckles. And infection level doesn't go up because we're doing an Assassin Strike. So it's human times 2, which is really gross. We do an 8. That's 3 damage. This dude just backs up. Alyssa's amazing. Oh, and then that sucker activates again because it didn't have enough the first time. We come in here, same exact calculation. It's a 2, so I can conduct normal contact or move back a space. I will conduct normal combat. I'm defending this time, so it is actually equal to, it becomes human advantage because of the terrain shift. None of the other things applies. And again, remember, she's rugged. So hopefully we roll good here. I rolled a 4. That would not be rolling good there. Do I want to risk that? No, I don't. I'm going to play that. That's going to give me access to Zen this turn. I know it's really crazy to use that, but I don't want to risk losing Alyssa right now. So that's just 1 hit and the Zeds retreat. I think that just makes more sense instead of having to potentially do a saving roll. If I lose Alyssa right now, it's just really, really bad considering the situation I'm in right now. At the end of this phase, place a new Zed unit on the suburbs track start space. Place a smart marker on the strongest regular Zed units in play. Until eliminated, that Zed unit gets a shift when it attacks. All right, so when it attacks, not when it defends, only when it attacks. We are going to get 3 event actions. I'm going to put this token here so I don't forget. I'm going to use Alyssa's action first, and we're going to have her take care of some of this, I think. She can move normally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to use Deputy Smith's action. We're going to do a gunfire attack of a 4 with initiative. So 1 bullet. We have 1 bullet left. Oh, I rolled a 3. That's so good. Now let's not let this guy have a life to live. So we're going to move in here with Deputy Schmidt. He's attacking. It's human advantage. So this does take an event action. So I'll just flip this. It's human advantage, human times 2 because I'm an Eagle Scout. Don't forget. And please do 2 damage. I rolled an 11. That's beautiful. This thing is finally dead. Finally, I mean, it just came out, I know. 3 actions left. We're going to discharge and move this up to the campground. I don't know how much more I'm going to be using auxiliary, so I'm not really that worried about getting to the full strength. I think where they're at's fine. This is going to be restored. I don't really care about that bridge right now. I mean, I have the suburbs track fairly good, and Deputy Schmidt's kind of doing a fairly good job there. Deputy Schmidt, good job. We are going to do Carter, Moment of Truth. Carter's going to try to go through and do a damage to everybody there. Huge roll here. 4, 5, or 6, please. Yes, sir. So 1 damage to this, 1 damage to this. There's no infection increase because it's a truck. However, there is an infection increase. I forgot what Deputy Schmidt. So 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage to this. Now, the disease spreader makes a saving roll. Please be low. Yes. 4, 5, or 6. This would have survived. No, wait. No, please be high. I lied. Right? Their saving rolls are the reverse. Ah, it's so stupid. Yeah, I think they survive. Oh, it makes me so sad. Yeah, so 1, 2, or 3. Lower is always good for them. So they go back to the track start space, and that makes me super sad. And now I'm going to try to go here. I'm trying to get to the start space. We're trying to plow through everyone on that level. What do we get? 4, 5, or 6 again for me? No. So we actually do a normal hand-to-hand combat. Since I'm attacking, Zed's Knuckles applies. It is Zed's advantage. It becomes equal to no terrain shift, but this is not great. My truck might be. No more. I rolled a 6. So 1 damage... 2 damage to Carter. I can do a saving roll. I don't think there's much of a point at this point in the game, which is very unfortunate. Wow. Wow, and this disease spreader somehow survived. Wow, that's really bad. Really bad. All right, Carter. I'm not even trying to save you, dude. Sorry. I don't got the supplies to heal you. I don't got the actions. And you fought valiantly. But he was only able to do that delivery of goods once, which is terrible. Like, really bad. Really, really bad. I'm not going to worry about the bridge. I already said that. Do I want to throw a grenade? This makes sense. I'm going to move this 2. I'm going to do Mother of Invention. This goes up from a 6 to a 9. I'm going to do a gas grenade. I'm going to do 4 damage. Spread out evenly. This one's dead, so 3 more damage to this guy. As evenly as possible. So this dude is dead, so I don't have to worry about that increase because again, Alyssa's over here and the truck's now gone. So Toxic Zed is out. It's a long run, but he's no longer with us. Alright, so that is that. At the end of the rounds, I'm going to ready all of these. We're going to go up once because I'm storing order here, but down once because of Mr. Barra. At the end of this phase, we're placing a new Zed unit on the suburb track start space. And you put the smart thing on the strongest regular Zed unit in play, which looks like, wow, this truck can go.
Truck goes in the cemetery.
8 is the 1, so the smartest dude is now this guy. You're the smartest. It's like being the smartest guy in not smart camp, right? Congratulations, sir. This is done. Event card. Close to having the National Guard come in. Depending on where they come in, could be really huge. So research materials. So raiders, rangers, refugees. Refugees come in. They're good. We're up to 10. Rescuers. We're doing the infection phase. We don't increase the infection level again because this dude is back at a start space. So there's that. He's going to be moving off there in a second. But we have to roll higher than a 10. I rolled a 9. Good roll. Good roll, because all the way down there, fate draw. It's a good one. And we're putting a Zed unit where? In the forest. Forest track. There is no chaos. So, of course, this dude's going to go here, which is bad. That's going to lead to a hand-to-hand combat. It is Zed's times 2 because Zed's advantage because of the terrain shift. This does cause that to go up. And what do we get? It's a 7. 1 damage to this dude. 2 damage to this unit. It's a 3-er. I have a 4 there. Yeah, not spending the actions. That dude is just bye. So what I did get was where forest, hold for later, play during the Zed's phase to cancel any one Zed unit's activation or Zed mob's entire activation before it moves. It recovers 1 hit if it was damaged. Then you can roll a die. If you roll a 4, 5, or 6, you get to keep this for future use. Not bad. What is bad is this now gets a chaos marker, which I was trying to avoid. You know, keep just putting my, where is it going? It keeps happening in very interesting places for me. So we now go to the eat phase. We don't have to roll, so we're fine. We're going to do Zeds. Zeds are activating. Now we get another chaos marker in the farm space. This activates. This activates. Now the disease spreader is back on the board. Activating the tunnel. That goes there. He tries to move. We roll. It's a 6. He's lost. So we're going to roll again. He's leaving 5. He now goes to 3. That's bizarre. So he ends up closer to me, even though he got lost because he's a jerk. Jerk. Had I rolled a 5 and he went back to that Catacombs, he actually was gone forever. That would have been a lot better. So now I do have to start worrying about those two. So now we're also activating one more track. We're activating the mountain track. Supposedly that dude's smart, so I don't know. Watch out. So we get 2 event actions. At the end of this phase, if a player unit is in a nuclear power space, turn over the next card in the research track. That's probably not happening. Free? Maybe? I don't know. I got a list it down there. Might be a thing. Might be a thing we're doing. Might be a thing we are doing. All right, so 2 event actions. I'm going to spend 1 to do 4 damage to this jerk. He's only a 4 in the bottom, which is great. And a chaos marker. Definitely do a Mother of Invention. That gets up to 5. And I get another event action. And I still have the player action. So, yeah, list is going in. We're going to roll. Please be a 3 through a 6. How about a 5? Awesome. So she's attacking. It is a 10 to a 3, which is Zeds times 3. But then it becomes Zed's advantage. It becomes equal to because of the 2 shift here and then a 1 because of the super weapon. There's no increase in the infection because of the assassin strike. Please be good. It's a 5. It's not good. It's 1 damage and she retreats. Just trying to figure out what that upside is. I may get the Zeds treats. Oh, but that's a good chance that it's not going to be worth it. There's a good chance it's not going to be worth it. At least I got 1 damage on them. I don't know. Cancel an activation is probably smart. All right, we're going to do an action here. Try to send those clowns back. No, they're just going to come back in. Not going to do that. We have initiative. So I'm going to move Schmidt here. That's good. I do think it makes sense trying to move back. So they're a 4. So I'm doing the auxiliaries with their fire hose. I rolled a 7. These guys are pushed back. And then we'll move a G in with a 4 to try to clean that up. All right, that's the end. I did not get the goodies. Felt like I would have had to sacrifice too much to try to do that. These all flip. Restoring order with a G, so it goes bound 2. At the end of the housekeeping phase with Barrett, it goes down another 1. All right, this card is done. Event card, I think we're close to National Guard. No, or that. Where's the National Guard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, it's next. Great. The Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers, none of that applies. Kind of boring game in that sense. Infection phase, no. It does go up, though, because of the disease spreader being back off the start space. Eat, we have to roll higher than a 3. I rolled a 5. That's good. Zeds. At the beginning of this phase, return each Zeds unit on the namespace to its full strength side. All right, no Zeds unit on the namespace. Zeds unit on the namespace, and then removing all hit markers. So hit marker gone. That's on the full strength side. Hit marker gone. Oh, and I pushed it back to that too. Oh, it's so bad. Hit marker gone. Hit marker gone. That's really bad. It's a lot of hits I just wasted. Oh, shoot. Wow. Activating every track. This activates. All right, forest track is done. I'm going to cancel that activation. I really don't want to lose a G. And there's no hit to heal now. So 4, 5, or 6, I get to keep the card. I lose this card. That's bad. But I do get Zen, which can be useful. Activating this. This comes in. All right, good. So we're doing an assassin strike. No increase there. It is Zeds times 3. It becomes Zeds advantage. Oh, it's an attack, so it does get equal to because of the Zeds weapon, the super weapon. So it's a 7, so 2 damage. That was so bad. Such a bad card. All those guys are stuck. And they're activating on the tunnel track now. The 5s are trying to move out first. I roll a 6. He's lost. I roll a 6. He moves back to here. This dude, the 3 is trying to move. I roll a 1. He moves normally. We get 2 event actions. And this. And Zen. It's still bad. I'm going to use initiative and my last bullet. Gunfire attack of a 4. Oh, I rolled a 12. Nice. So 3 damage. Flip that guy. That's... that was ridiculous. We are going to move the auxiliaries there. Never flip the player action. So another player action. Get the 4 damage back on this dude. Chaos marker. We are now going to try to push him back. I need higher than a 4. I do it. He gets pushed. And then I'm going to raise this 3 with Mother of Invention and move this here. So I still have the Zen, because remember I used yeah, they fell for it this time. I think I attack with Alyssa again. I don't know, man. She can get them to retreat again. Remember, I'm doing an equal to, assuming I get the Assassin Strike. Assuming I get the Assassin Strike. And then I can push them back. Kind of like it. Then I can actually maybe camp out the nuclear power plant. So we're using the Zen, which I haven't done yet. We're going to move in. We're going to roll. Please be higher than a... there we go. Higher than a 2. Awesome. So I'm doing Assassin Strike. It's going to be the same math. It's going to be at equal to, no terrain shift, no infection increase. I rolled a 6, which is enough to flip this dude again. And then they retreat. The 6 and the 4 are both going to go back to Interstate 6. Cool. Done. That was an effective turn. End of the round. I'm going to restore 1 chaos there, which reduces by 2 because the professor at G. Restoring a chaos here, which increases it by 1. And then the end of the housekeeping phase, it reduces 1 again because Bear is a super nerd that knows how to do amazing things. This goes away. Next event card is the National Guard. All right, make a fate draw. It's a bad one. Of course it is. We are putting the National Guard at the fated track starting space. There were about 3 other places I would rather this National Guard. That's fine. Now we have remove 1 super weapon component if you have discovered a super weapon. Otherwise, add 1 random early research card to the top of the research deck. I will remove... I don't think I'm throwing chaos bombs anymore. Oh, yeah, this would have a chaos marker. Yeah, I don't know if I'm throwing chaos bombs anymore. Probably not the best idea. Can be really strong, though. Can be really strong. Oh, that shift when I'm attacking. How much am I attacking? Chaos bombs actually are probably better. So yeah, I'm going to lose the knuckles. That really hurts Alyssa. It's probably fine with everybody else. So that was rough. National Guard is in the house. Event card. Oh, shoot. All right. Well, this is really bad. Really bad. Brains. All right. This goes up. All tracks activate. This comes in. This goes up. It's human times 3. I rolled an 8, 3 damage. This dude's dead. So that was easy. Easy one's out of the way. Next, this comes in. This goes up. It is Zed's advantage. It becomes human advantage because of the barricade. I rolled a 5, 2 damage and retreats. 2 damage. This moves in. This moves in. These move in. This is the one I'm worried about. This comes in. This goes up. It is a Zeds times 2. It becomes Zed's advantage because of this range shift. It goes back to Zeds times 2 because this is the smart Zeds. All right, we're rolling. I need a 10 or a 6. 3 damage. It kills a G. Not doing a saving roll. So she's out. All right, because of brains, this goes again. It is a 4 to a 3. The fire axe train gets 1 shift in all hand-to-hand combat, so it's Zed's advantage because equal to back to Zed's advantage because of smart Zeds. I need a 8 or higher, please. I rolled an 8. That's a beautiful thing. So 2 damage. This dude is dead, and 2 damage to them, and they survive. So I'm glad I did that healing when I did on them. So that's fine. We're now going to activate here. Alyssa, please don't fail me now. Good. She's doing an assassin strike. So she's attacking. We lost the knuckles. It's 9 to a 3. It becomes Zed's advantage. Another 8 would be huge. 7. So 1 damage. Alyssa retreats. That's a win for the Zeds. That is a win for the Zeds. That's a chaos marker here. So they're coming at her again. Assassin strike, maybe. I rolled a 4. It is. So it's the same math. Zed's advantage. Again, losing that weapon was maybe not the one to lose. So Zed's advantage. We rolled an 8. And they get assassin strike, so she doesn't take any damage. 8's fine. 2 damage. This one flips, and they retreat. So they're back at the nuclear power plant, and that worked out okay. These dudes activate. These dudes activate. This guy activates. He just moves. This one moves into the catacombs. That round is over. Next card. Bam. Tough Zeds. Raiders, Rangers. So Rangers, refugees, rescuers. We're rolling. This goes up to 9. Oh, this right. We didn't have a housekeeping phase, so that wouldn't have ever gone down. But it goes up again because of the disease spreader. We need to roll higher than a 9. I rolled a 2. It's almost higher than 9. Please be good. Oh, it's not awful. We're putting a regular Zed where in the highway track, its stacking limit is going to push it all the way back to Interstate 6. That's fine. It's the sturdy vehicles commandeered. We are going to eat. I have no more supplies, so I have to take a damage on some unit somewhere. I'm going to just wipe this guy out. Do a saving roll. Yeah, I already... Oh, yeah, I have to do a saving roll. This is all different. Saving roll. Nope. This one's dead. We're activating the mountain track twice. There is no Zeds unit there, so if you get his face, place a new Zeds unit on the mountain track. Well, now there is one there. We put the 6er. We're going to add the tough Zeds to the strongest Zeds unit, and again, this just allows them to cancel. Toughest Zeds is just 7, which is fine. He's pretty far back in the pack. Now we're activating the mountain track twice. This goes in. Infection level goes up. We're doing a human advantage because it's a 10 to a 6. Come on, National Guard. I rolled an 8, so 3 damage, 1 damage. This retreats. They attack again. This goes up. It is human times 3. I rolled a 7, 3 damage. That unit is toast my ghost. Thank you, National Guard. Kept the mountain track nice and clear. Action phase, I get 3 actions plus the player action. The Mother Invention is out. I would have been arguing maybe do a saving roll for a G. But,
You know.
what is happening? All right, we're going to move National Guard here with 1 action. Initiative, we're doing a foraging roll. I rolled a 2. All right, good job. Deputy Schmidt's killing it. Killing it. We are going to do an action to do a chaos marker and 4 hits, distributed evenly. So this flips and gets a 1. This gets 2 hits. So that's an 8. 1, 2, 3. Probably if I do sturdy vehicles, Alyssa's going to be stuck. I won't be able to get her Zen thing anyway. Thinking about using the sturdy vehicles to get the heck over there and do a assassin strike on those clowns. Well, the highway track is ugly. But yeah, I think she does it anyway. Tries to clean that up. All right, Alyssa, you're the beast of the hour. So she's doing that. Move 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then she's going to go in again. Or where she's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, she could attack that guy. She could start owning the tunnel track. Problem is, the brains event in the forest track could be super bad. Super bad. This guy's got this down. I mean, human times 2. Feel pretty strong about that. We'll have her go in. Assassin strike, maybe. I rolled a 6. We're good. It is an 8 to a 3, so it's Zeds times 2 becomes equal to. Again, we don't have the terrain shift anymore because it's a super weapon we lost. So I rolled an 8. Beautiful. 2 damage. She takes no hits. We're gonna kill. We're gonna flip this one for 1 damage, and we'll do 1 hit on this one as well. They're gonna back up. The 4 goes here. Again, the disease spreader doesn't count against the stacking limit, and the 3 will go all the way back there. And she is there. Housekeeping phase. We go up 2 because this and this. End of the housekeeping phase. Bearer moves us down 1. So we have 4 chaos markers. This goes away. We do an event card. Shambling Zeds. Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. This goes there. We are doing a roll. This goes up at the beginning of the infection phase because disease spreader. We need to roll higher than 11. I rolled an 8. Down to a 3. Fate card. What do we get? Tunnel. We got a regular Zeds in the tunnel. It's going to go into the security guard post because it is the closest to town center with the chaos marker. That's fine. We are eating. We don't have to worry about that. It says Shambling Zeds, beginning of this phase, make a fate draw. Oh, this is by the way, hold for later. Play during any action phase when you have a player unit in Dr. Matos's office to turn over the next card on the research deck for free. That's enticing. We have to do another fate draw. Fated track is the suburbs. We have to select any civilians or hero unit on the fated track, but not in town center. So the only one we have is Schmidt. We're doing a Zeds hand-to-hand. That's going to cause that to go up. Terrain shifts and stuff apply as possible. Since it's hand-to-hand, it is, and we have a terrain shift that is do human times 2. And Schmidt's only going to suffer wounds. Oh my gosh. Hand-to-hand, I allow 1 reroll because of martial arts. I rolled a 5, a little bit better. And then I'm tough, so I roll and I canceled that. Awesome. So ended up being no harm, no foul with all of that. Just got to get there the difficult way. So what do we have? We can go here and get another research card, which I'm interested in. And then play to negate any future play this card event or reroll any outcome that includes a 1. Do love that. So the Zeds are activating a lot of tracks here. Activating the forest track. This comes here. All right, potential. I rolled a 2, so I can back up 1 space or fight normally. I will choose to back up 1 space, which is a nice option to have. These 3 move up here. This one moves up here. Activating the highway track. This goes here, here, here. Again, the strong point stays because it's the strong point. And then we activate the highway track again. This comes in, this goes up. It's a 6 to a 4, but the barricade makes it a human advantage. Rolling, I rolled a 7. How do I feel about that? I feel good about that. So 1 damage on the security forces unit, 2 damage here, back up. And I'm not killing this guy. Well, I guess I want to kill him anyway, but I've created a funnel. The rest of those guys can't move. Now we activate on the tunnel track. This goes in, this goes up. It is human times 2. I rolled a 7, same math, 2 damage and 1 damage to security forces. And now this guy can't move because it's a stacking limit of 1 in the tunnel. This guy's trying to leave the catacombs. He rolled a 4, he remains. That worked. We have action phase. We get 2 event actions. Getting to Matus's, yeah, I can't even get there. I'm trying to see if anybody get to Matus's office. No, I could. I mean, in theory, I could. In theory, I could. This would refresh. This would refresh. All right, Schmidt's gonna forge. I rolled a 1. He's killing it with the forge, I guess. Killing it. I mean, I'm worried about double diamonds. I'm worried about a lot of things right here. I'm gonna use a player action to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I need another action to go here. I need another action to push those dudes back. So I need to roll higher than a 3. I rolled a 6. And it's also one of the few times in this game where it could be equal to as well, which is really nice. So they're pushed back. Stacking limit applies. They actually get pushed all the way back to the catacombs. So that's really strong. I mean, it's a really flexible skill. It works as effectively, strong side, weak side. It doesn't matter, which is really nice. And the second thing that's really nice about it is that if you're going as a Zeds mob, you don't have to determine which unit you're trying to push back until after you roll. So if there's a strong unit and a weak unit, and you roll not as good, you can actually say, oh, let's push a weak unit back, which is really nice. So I think that made a lot of sense of what's going on here and puts me in a pretty good spot for the next turn. I'll see if I get into Matus's office at some point. We go to the housekeeping phase. This goes up because I'm restoring order. Thank you, National Guard. It goes down because Barra is amazing. I did think about using those and getting 4 hits on those guys, but it does seems like a waste. We'll kind of see how the rest of this plays out. So this goes here. Of course we will. Of course we will. All right. Keep calm and kill Zeds. Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. Done. We have to roll. This goes up because of the disease spreader. I need to roll higher than a 7. I rolled a 9. Thank you. Eat. Don't worry about it. Zeds phase. Mountain track activates. There is no Zeds there, so that goes. And now the highway track activates. Okay. This comes in. This goes up. It is same math. It goes from Zed's advantage to human advantage because of the barricade. Please. I rolled a 9. Awesome. 3 damage. I'm going to flip this over and keep 2 on it. Actually, I'll put the 2 on here. Yeah, it makes sense. And then 1 damage. So now this guy is flipped, so he's significantly weaker. That's a thing. And the rest of those guys are jammed up. That's amazing. We go to the action phase. We have 2 event actions. At the beginning of this phase, select 1 unit. It gets to use +2 on all attacking and hand-to-hand combat for this turn only. It's really strong with Alyssa, obviously. A +2 shift. Remember when I had a truck and I had a colonel? Like, things were a lot steadier. All right, we have literally 6 cards left here. So this goes here, this goes here. Let me do my forge action with Schmidt. He rolls a 1. I hope someone's been keeping track of how many times in a row I've rolled a 1 when trying to do this. I mean, Alyssa's too good, right? Alyssa's too good. I think I do it. She's the only hero that, I mean, yeah, I only have 2 hero units left, and Schmidt has obviously just been stuck in the suburbs. He's a suburbs cop, guys. He just chills out in the suburbs. The rest of the world's going to crap, and he's like, I got the suburbs down. It's like, thanks, dude. Great. Like, definitely the comic relief of this movie that we're doing here. I guess the tunnel track's fine. I just like give up on Martuse's office. It'd be nice to get the research, but I'm not getting any more chaos in there. And having the fire hose and those two guys kind of holding that up, like, it's really strong. These are not the strongest numbers. That's not that scary. I need a bunch of heal actions is what I need. I need a bunch of heal actions. None of that's scary, which is the scary part. I mean, this isn't great. Higher track is definitely not great. National Guard would take forever to get in. Chaos. Yeah, I'm really good with chaos. All right, Alyssa's gonna get +2. He's hurting. They're all hurting. Like a double activation of the Fire's track could be pretty bad. A Brains event is obviously always the thing you're most worried about, right? Alyssa's got +2 for sure. We're gonna do a player action. She's gonna jump in, and she's gonna try to represent here. So don't roll a 1. She's been awesome. So what are we doing? We're attacking. It is Zed's advantage, but it's 2 shifts because of the Assassin Strike, plus 2 more shifts because of Keep Calm and Kill Zeds, because that's what she does. She rolls a 12. That's absolutely insane. That's 5 damage. So this dude's dead. This dude has 2 damage on it, and this backs up to here. So we have a nice little gap there. Now we're going to use the Sturdy Vehicles Commandeered. So she has +3 movements. So she has 8 movements. She's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She also now has access to this Zeds thing, which is really big. I'd use the player action. I have 2 event actions. So that was the first event action that she used to do that movement. And now she's going to do the same thing, Assassin Strike. She rolls a 6, so we're good. She's on fire. It is a 5 to a 3, so it's the same exact math because it's human times 3 because of the Assassin Strike and the event card. We rolled, it's a 9. 9 is going to do 3 damage. That does 2 damage here, kills this dude. This dude backs up to here. She now has Zen. I think we get out of there because I'm worried about a Brains event for sure. We're going to use the Zen thing for her to move. 1. Just move her there. This last action, we're going to move the National Guard 1 space closer, try to get them involved. They could make a nice little last stand in one of those town spaces. Event actions are done. Housekeeping, not restoring any order anywhere. Barra says, hey, this goes down a little bit because I'm cool. That's right. Super cool. And next event card is this. What the heck is that? So, Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. Rescuers move. No infection phase, except it does move up because of the disease spreader. We have the eat. We have to roll higher than a 3. I rolled a 2. I have to assign a damage to a unit. I will assign damage to this guy. He's only got 1 more stand in him anyway. Now, Zeds. At the beginning of his phase, immediately place this to 13 and conduct an unchecked outbreak. Awesome. So, fate draw, what do we get? Is it bad or good? It's good. Player's choice. Player's choice for Super Zeds. I'm going to put another Super Zeds in the highway track. Bam. Oh, it's the behemoth. The Zed Hemoths? Yeah. They can stay way the heck back there. And now you have a hold for later. Play this card when a player unit begins a hand-to-hand combat for +2 for that fight. I just have +2 for an entire round, whatever. So, unchecked outbreak. I need to roll this. I rolled an 8 through 13, goes down to a 5. So we did that. We move all hit markers from Zed's units. So this. I mean, these are all, as long as they're still on the weak side, I really don't care about these hit markers. Yeah, and this guy's only a 3, so none of that was really bad. And then we activate all the tracks. All right, there's nothing on the suburbs track, so that gets a new unit. This advances. Those advance. Advance. Okay. Build. Oh, shoot. This. He's trying to get out. He rolls a 2. He moves normally. He's trying to get out. He rolls a 4. He has to stay. So we have 2 event actions. Oh, keep that there. And this player action and this and this. So initiative for comic relief. See what happens. Oh, he rolls a 6. We get an ammo. Yeah, buddy. Go you. We are... we're going to spend this player action to try to do the fire hoses. I need higher than a 5. I rolled a 7. Push that dude back to there. That's a nice little cycle we got going. So this guy comes in, and that's added. That's additive. That 2 there will be a total of an attack of a 7, which is a lot against a 2. It just worries me for brains. I can just back him up. It's probably the smartest move. And I can hopefully get the National Guard in there. Yeah, I'm going to spend this action to back him up. So that action to back him up He's vacating the barricade for a second. And then I have this last action, Alyssa Darling. It's just the MVP of this whole game, man. So she's going in. We rolled. I rolled a 2. Do I want normal hand-to-hand combat? Yes. No. No, I'll move back a space. I will move back a space. Oh, and I roll a 1. Oh, cooler heads reval is so nice with Alyssa. I didn't even realize that. That's really nice. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Am I restoring order? No. Barra moves us down. This goes away. Next event. What do we get? Contamination at the hospital. Raiders, Rangers, refugees, rescuers. Done. At the beginning of this phase, it goes up because of the disease spreader. +1 for each unit in the hospital bed and staff office. That is 0. Remove the Elwood. Elwood. So we remove Elwood. I just was getting to know you, man. That's so sad. So he's gone. We're eating. I need to roll higher than a 3. I rolled a 3. So I have to do a damage to somebody. Do a damage to you. You got 1 more stand than you and nothing else. And now we do activations. So we're activating the suburb strike. Activates once, activates twice. This goes up. We're doing a Zed's advantage. It becomes human advantage, terrain shift, and then Eagle Scout. So I roll. It's a 7. I'll take that. 2 damage. So yeah, not gonna do much better than that. So 2 damage in advance. Tough. Can I cancel it? No, I don't. 1 damage, and that's fine. All right, now we're activating the tunnel track twice. This activates. This guy's trying to get out. I roll. It's a 3. He moves normally. This guy's trying to get out. I roll. It's a 4. He's stuck. Activating it again. This comes up. This goes up. It's equal to guarding with the security dude. It becomes human times 2 because of the terrain shift. I rolled a 2. That is absolute trash. Now I'm going to cancel that, which is going to give me access to Zen. This should come over here. I had the National Guard card in the wrong spot. So I cancel that. I hate getting rid of that, but it makes sense. I'm going to have to do that again. So it's human times 2. Again, I win on any other roll but a 2, right? So 8. 8's better. 3 damage. He backs up. He's now a 1. This guy can't stacking limit. He's stuck. That's another reason I wanted to kind of do what I just did. This guy's trying to get out again. He rolls a 4. He's still stuck. I don't know what's wrong with him. Really stuck. That. All right, so I have 3 event actions. We're going to do the initiative thing. Initiative thing, I rolled a 1. Failed. We're back to the 1s now. I do have this 1 bullet, which is kind of interesting. It takes 2 bullets to fire at the National Guard. I don't think it makes sense to waste an action on the fire hoses because it's only a 1. So feel pretty good about that. I can do action, National Guard, action, National Guard. They are now totally in position to do their thing. And they also have now access to the super weapon. Not that I'm doing that much right now. If we get a lot of suburbs activations, I do have some reason to be a little concerned because chaos. I mean, I could definitely go through this chaos quick. It's definitely one of the reasons I'm not that eager to be doing much of that. And I had my Zen because I re-rolled that roll because there was a roll that had a 1 in it. And since I could re-roll both dice, as the card says, so that worked out fairly well. Yeah, Alyssa's going to use her Zen. Let's get these guys back. Jumping in. Yes, we got a 6. It is a 6 to a 3. So that's Zeds times 2. It becomes equal to because of the assassin strike. I'm going to play Killdozer to get +2. So it's now human times 2. And she rolls an 11, which is ridiculous. That's 3 damage. We'll flip this guy. Yeah, this guy, but keeping him at a 1, he's going to go really far back anyway. So both the Super Zeds now go back there. I do want to make sure this works on the Super Zeds. Yes, there's some ability of one of these heroes that doesn't work on a Super Zeds. And I always forget which one. I think it's the El Toro Loco. Yeah. The bull charge doesn't work against Super Zeds. So that Zen worked. So again, I had 3 actions. I moved these guys twice, and then I didn't use the fire hose. I did the initiative. Yes, I moved him twice. I did that with the Zen. I had this. Oh, I still have that player action. That's nuts. So let me do that way. I'm going to get Alyssa out of there to make her a little brains proof. Brains proof. Excellent. Now my last action, we will forage. Could move Schmidt back. Not the worst idea. He'll come back 1, 2, 3. It's such a waste. Yeah, not worried about that bridge at all. At all. My last action, I'm going to move this unit into the hospital. Yeah, didn't make some sense. Housekeeping. Nope. This readies. We're going to do an event card. Bam. Brains. Awesome. Conduct a special turn only. This goes up twice. I missed Bearer already. All tracks activate once. This goes in. It's Zeds times 3. Terrain shift and Eagle Scout. Infection level does go up. So terrain shift, Eagle Scout, so it's Zed's advantage. He rolls a 10. Ha! Awesome. 2 damage. Back and flips. And that. And then 1 damage. Well, tough. Is he tough? He is tough. That's right. Good job, Schmidt. Fine. Then we're here. Zeds are going to advance. Zeds advance here. That gets a chaos marker. Zeds advance here, 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 and here. Again, the strong point is holding up strong. And then we have this track. This goes in. This goes up. It is a human times 3. I rolled a 10. Beautiful. This dude's dead. This guy comes in. This dude's trying to leave for the 17th time. He can't. That's also the other comic relief of this movie. All right. Event card. Is it back-to-back brains? Oh, so the last one's the ending event. Awesome. Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. Do I want to advance with the Rescuers? No. So it is optional. I will just keep them on that town space. We are going to have to roll. This goes up to 12, so we're definitely having an outbreak. So 12 goes down to 5. Fate draw, putting a regular Zeds where? Player's choice. Yeah, I'll put it in the highway. Like, it's so stupid. I've had a lot of player's choice cards, which I really appreciate. Play this card now. People for the ethical treatment of Zeds riots. And so I have to roll this. People for the ethical treatment of Zeds. Like these are the moments I love this game. Like, it's so frustrating sometimes, but this is ridiculous. All right, so I'm rolling, applying that many total losses in any combination of ammo supply or hits to player units or increases. I rolled a 4. I'll lose the ammo because I'm not using it anyway, and I'll take 3 increases into the infection level because the man protests. Do not protest in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, people. It's just a really bad idea. The event is out. Now what? We are eating. I need to roll higher than a 4. I rolled a 3, so I have to apply a damage to a unit. I'm going to apply this damage to this security forces because Alyssa is just obviously more superior anyway, and I'm not going to do a saving roll there. All right, we're doing Zeds. Zeds are activating on the highway. Oosh. All right, Alyssa, do your thing, please. Good. So it's a 10 to a 3. Becomes Zed's advantage because of Assassin Strike. We don't get the terrain shift as well, and this doesn't go up because again, Assassin Strike. She rolls. It's a 6. So 1 hit. She does need to retreat. These advance, these advance, these advance, and then we're activating the suburbs twice. This comes up. This does go up. It is a 3 to a 2, which is Zed's advantage, becomes human advantage because of Eagle Scout and the terrain shift. It's a 6, 2 damage. This is dead. Are we tough? Nope. I'm saving roll. Sure, I'll save him. Why not? This goes up. Might be helpful up there. Done. And then the second activation is we get a Zed unit at the start track. Bam. At the beginning of this phase, replace all regular Zed units of play that are currently 3 strength or less with the newly drawn, fresh, full strength Zeds. If there are not enough Zeds available to make these replacements, replace as many as possible, starting with those closest to the town center. The replaced Zed unit has a marker, such as hit or tough. The marker gets discarded as well. All right, so we're getting 3 new Zeds. Wow. On that forest track, which is nuts. There's going to be enough. So current strength is a 1. That's out. It's now a 4. We're going to have a nice little stack here, actually. These 2 are both out, so we're getting 2 new ones on Route 2. It's now, it's now a 2 and a 6. So that didn't change the math all that much. Over here's an 8, so that's fine. Over here, there's a 6 and a 4, just fine. This 2 comes out. It's all regular Zeds, so we don't change out this guy. Ooh, that's bad. And yeah, so we don't worry about the super Zeds. So we only changed out 4. Thought there would be more. So 3 event actions. We just got to make sure we don't blow this. So that's a strength of a 10. It's a 10 to a 10. I think we just leave the National Guard there. It makes the most sense. We're going to have this player action. Well, we can do the initiative. Oh, he has an EKG, so he can't use the heal on himself. We do a player action to do a heal to reduce this. And just get him out of there. So he can do a reroll. Is that reroll going to be helpful? You know what? I might not do that. Let me take that back for a sec. All right, let me do the hose action with the auxiliaries. So we need higher than a 5. I rolled a 3. Awesome. I'm gonna... Not ideal. little bad. What is that? Oh man, that's a rough. That's not great. I think I do this. I'm gonna use this action to do a chaos marker here. 2 damage. So that flips. And 2 damage. Now it's only an 8, which is a lot better. I do an action here. We try to do an assassin strike. We get it. So we're doing Zeds times 2 becomes equal to. It's a 9. Awesome. That's 2 damage and 1 damage to Alyssa. No, she doesn't take any damage. It was assassin strike. Yeah, I'll just put a 2 damage there. So these are both going to move all the way back to Ingeborg. It's fine. And now she's stuck there because of the chaos marker. Right, but I wanted to make that math better. So I think that will work. I'm trying to think if I should use a chaos marker to try to kill the vermin. I can't move Alyssa again, which is rough. But it's Alyssa, and she's great. So we're actually going to do the fire hose again. I think that's the smartest play right here. I rolled an 8. This guy gets pushed back. Am I restoring order? I am. That goes up. And now we go to the last event card. Are there any left? Raiders, Rangers, Refugees, Rescuers. Oh, activating all tracks. Oh, that's fine. We're gonna win. We are going up because of the disease spreader. I rolled a 4. It goes down to 8. Fate card. Where suburbs? We put a regular Zeds in the suburbs. It's gonna be at the closest town, which is here. So that does get a chaos marker. So you head to Reggie's Roadhouse for a brief respite to gather your courage for the next onslaught. Play this card at the beginning of any hand-to-hand combat for a 1-time +2. The player unit suffers a hit after you do that, however. It's fine. Eat 1. I can't. I have to apply a hit to something. I'll put another hit on this guy, so he just flips. Zeds all. We're activating here. This goes up. This goes up. Activating here. These all come in. This goes up. It is a 10 to a 10, and then there's a shift, so it's actually a human times 2. With the National Guard, we rolled an 11, which is gross. 3 damage. Kill that dude. They both move back. This one moves up. This one stays. This guy activates. We get a chaos marker over there. These guys come in. It is a chance for Assassin Strike. Yes. So this doesn't go up. It is a 15 to a 3. So it becomes Zed's advantage. And we roll 7. The 7's going to give me 1 damage to these guys. They win, so I do have to retreat, but I don't take any damage. These guys go up, up, and up. And then we have this track. This comes in. This guy needs to try to get out. He finally gets out in the end, but it's too late. We win. Did they stop? Are there any left? Wait, who are you? The realization that it's all over is going to take a long, long time for the locals to accept. Woo! It is exhausting. I'm like, this game. It's just the marathon of games. And I really, really like it. I really like a lot of moments of it. But sometimes I'm like, whew, I got 10 more cards left. I really did not think I had that many cards left. But yeah, my first level 4 win. I mean, it's a really lucky ending card. I mean, you see the mix of blues in here. Although this is a pretty rough, what was it? So this was level 1, level 2, level 3. A bunch of level 3s in a row. Yeah, I didn't see a level 4 card until all the way out here, that Airborne Contagion, and that was like the worst. What was that card that I was like, oh, I'm good. Oh yeah, I know they're out there. I was like, I just figured everything out, and I realized that was a big waste. So that the rules can really weigh you down, and I'm sure when I edit this, I'm going to see a bunch of little things that I did wrong with this infection phase and stuff like that. But I'll try to point that out as I go. But it's a cool story. I mean, it's cool. I never had Barra before, and then I lost Barra. Like, where did you go, dude? Why did you leave me so soon? The Super Zeds, just really being able to jam up the highway track is something new. I remember when I had illusions of keeping that pretty clean with our friend the Colonel, but that graveyard's full. Could be a lot worse. We got Schmidt there with an EKG. He was kind of holding down the suburbs for a while. Had some huge rolls with a 4 gunfire attack, which is really nice. But this is a good mix of characters. And Alyssa Darling, man, that that saving roll with her early ended up being everything, right? I was rolling really hot with her and kept doing assassin strikes. And you have games with her where you roll a lot of 1s or 2s, and it's super frustrating. But I never used the gas grenades before. It's an interesting puzzle, but especially with a G, when you can kind of we were kind of working on that, and we were able to keep this some under the control. That disease spreader is super annoying. Of course, he won his saving roll. That could have made a big difference to my advantage. But he really had everything under control. The scariest part was when I put the Doom Zeds in Beauville, right? And then I had to figure out how to make things work with both Alyssa and Deputy Schmidt. And we were able to kind of pull it off. But the tunnel track's interesting. It's there. Like they kind of got stuck. So, just being able to sit the auxiliaries there and just kind of fire hose them back when there's, they're already bottlenecked and you're only limited to 1 unit in each of those spaces is a really strong play. So kind of glad I saw that combo. But yeah, I mean, this game, man, I'll tell you what, it it's more so than my other top games. This one can really frustrate me. It's like, come on, man. And I think part of it, the games are just so long. Like you get some really gross turns, but again, if you buy into the narrative, and this game makes it easier for me to buy into the narrative than some do. But I'm tired. My voice is kind of needs a rest here, so I'm gonna try to wrap this up. Thank you so much for your support of this channel. Thanks for the watch time and the likes and the comments. All of that really helps, and I appreciate all of it. If you want to see how you could potentially support this channel some more, please go on my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. And if nothing else, if none of the tiers there make sense for you, at least check out my public posting every month where you can see what I have coming up on the schedule. Make sure there is nothing coming up that you want to see and that you might miss. So make sure you set your schedule and calendar accordingly. I want to see your iCalendar filled with solo playthroughs, goodness, or something like that. Whatever. Everything really matters, and every piece of support I get in this channel in any form or fashion all means an absolute ton to me, and I appreciate all of it. So that is that. I don't know when we'll be back with level 5. I have looked ahead. Doesn't seem to be that much new content, just going to be more of this, and then I have to figure out what I want to do. I'll probably try to get some short games on. Might try to do a short game live, kick it back to level 3 just so it's a little more reasonable, and we can kind of see what we can do with that. But this is quite the array of characters to be left with, right? And one of these days I'm gonna have to do the super weapon strategy is interesting. It just so happens that it's not one I always go with, but you get a G, it's just like let's try to get at least one of those two. And I normally go the Zed Street, so it's kind of cool to see where I was at. It's like, man, I really need some chunk damage to try to control the math. And a lot of that with Alyssa was like, yeah, I throw the 4, now I can do the assassin strike and actually get some more damage on there. Felt really good to be able to pull that off and do all of that fairly well. But the assassin strike and the Zed's knuckles, I mean, that's a sick combo. Again, one of the fake cards made us lose that. I mean, this fake card deck, this fake card deck got pretty brutal. And if you pull a lot of these play this card, play this card, play this cards in a row, you're not going to have much of a chance. I guess the second card up was the one that gave me Alyssa, and that proved huge, right? I mean, imagine this game if I had pulled Pickles. It's like, it ain't working the same, dude. It's just not happening. We would have had to figure out an early exit strategy and maybe come back again sooner than later. But glad to pull off a win. This game is nuts. I really did not expect a win going in, and that halfway through when we had badness happening on 2 of the tracks, I was like, she's gonna be short. Kingman went down, and Carter, I couldn't get that working for me, and made some probably bad strategic moves. But this game, I don't know, it just has a way of like giving you that glimmer of hope that's just like, maybe I can pull it off. And it's really fun when you do. So again, we level 5. I think that's the director's cut level is, I think, what the name of it is. Again, the names are like Outbreak and Apocalypse and Brains, and then we're like Walking Zeds and director's cut. Okay. I don't know. I like the corniness of the first three a lot more, I guess. But because I'm a corny dude, and corny dudes like corny things, and corny dudes who like corny things say corny things on camera a lot. I guess. So, but that's probably, you probably all reached your corn quotient for the month. So I'll cut this off here. Again, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, happy gaming.